everybody, and welcome back to the Limbus Company.
이 칸안에는 세금이 매겨지지 않는지 궁금합니다.
Alright, so in this episode, we are going to be doing our absolute best to take out Ricardo. By the way, I was told to pay more attention to the extra objectives, and yep, the extra objective is literally to clear the stage. Huh. Now, something else I was told. What I was told is apparently Ishmael gains a secret passive during, I don't know if it's during this fight or during the entire chapter, I'm not entirely sure. However, it is basically that when she's going to die, she quite simply doesn't. Now, I have a little theory. If we use Slosh Mail, right, it doesn't matter if she wins or loses the clashes, because she's going to be getting effects and aggro. So, you know what? I'm just going to do it. It might be a waste of our stuff, but I have a feeling that it's going to go to good use. So, basically, what the plan is, I think, is we're just going to have Slosh Mail completely tank Mr. Big Brother and hope for the best. Now, as for what we're going to bring, difficult to say. Apparently, after we stagger him twice, the fight ends. So, we're just gonna try and do that. I don't know how that's necessarily gonna go, but I'm gonna give it my darndest. I'm also going to bring Heathcliff, so we have a lot of tremor. Let's just do our best. She does keep living. Is there a world where we just win this with Slosh Mail? Like, I'm pretty sure not. I will try. Why not? 13 hull damage. Still in it. Still going. Now we're dead. Okay, I see. I understand. Alrighty. We're using a cheese strategy given to me by Ren from the Discord. So, apparently, this strategy relies on you using Slosh Mail and Mr. Crazy Sinclair. So we're just gonna try. I mean, it's worth a shot because clearly my own strategies are not working. And I understand, like, what this is gonna come down to is just a really min-maxed Tremor team. And I mean, as you can see, I'm already breaking my rule of only Ruinous stuff, but Ruinous/Slobot stuff, but whatever. This is a hard enough fight that I think it's warranted. Okay, a little bit of burn. Okay, we resist that. We're totally fine. It's okay if we lose this clash, although we don't. Wow. Okay, that's alright. Ow. Okay. We're not doing double damage yet. We're just doing a lot of it. We're going to heal 10 SP, so hopefully we don't corrode next turn. Doesn't do much in the way of damage, but that's fine. Okay, we did end up corroding either way, unfortunately, and because she's staggered, we're not going to be able to stop that. So let's see. This only goes for them. That pretty much only goes for her, so we're going to use this one. This tries to go for the evade die. That at least goes for him twice. Alright, well, let's just try. Here we go. Can't say I didn't attempt to not be corroded. Burn, ruin, devastation. Again, ruin, devastation. Ow. Ow. assist.
이 기세로 가면 우리가 질 거야.
Okay, here we go.
알고 있지?
So he's mega binded, which actually we can use to our advantage. Funny enough, that is going to work out quite nicely for us. Big damage. Actually, who are you going for? Wait a minute, hang on. Okay, so what we're gonna do, right? Boom. 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 Then boom. Which one are you going for? Ah. Boom. And then, actually, now what does our guard skill do again? Hang on.
얼굴하니까
I need to double check.
용건만 간단히요.
This one. So we gain aggro on. Oh. Doesn't do anything else though. You know what? There we go. We'll do some debuffs to him. I think this should work. Yeah. This should be okay. Slosh Mail's faster too, so.
갑니다.
Oh no, I lost the clash. Whatever will I do? Oh no, I lost another clash. Whatever will I do? Oh no, you know the deal by now. Okay. Time for death! Oh, because she didn't win any clashes, he did get the counter dice on us, but it's fine. Everything is fine. Behold. 93 damage being done. 23 burn. We got him staggered, boys. He's on the run. Okay, hang on. Wait. No, we got 2 of these. Are you serious? Oh. Okay, you're trying to hit. Ooh. Man, these all suck. Okay, so you're gonna hit Slash Mail either way. So here's what I'm gonna do. Let's soak these and then inflict some rupture, shall we?
갑니다.
Ruin, devastation, ruin. Ow. Yeah, take that. Ow. Ow. 1 whole damage.
파도가 밀려올 것만 같은
Okay.
그런 냄새가 나요.
So hang on. Wait, we can pull this off. Give me a second. I'm thinking out the logistics here. Okay. Here's the play. Triple guard. Right? Yeah. Okay, yeah. So then I wish I knew how close you were to staggering. What's our chance to hit triple fanatic? Not very high, right? You know what? Hang on. So we go. Actually, you know what? I don't think that'll be worth it. All right, let's just try then. Let's go boom. If we're fanatic, we're not, but it might do big damage. And then try and just get double, and then. Yeah. Alright, let's hope that's good enough. Okay, we missed one. Missed both? What, you're gonna hit me?
머지않아 개체로부터
He's so
강한
close.
공격이 예상됩니다.
Oh, it's gonna be too much though. I don't think we get through. I think it's too much damage coming through. Unless we can somehow... 19 plus 4? 29 with the potential of minus 13? Are we... Wait, no, it's a guaranteed 29? If the main target has less than 0 SP, final power plus 5. Ah, so that's not gonna work. Okay. So that's not gonna work for either of us, actually. As a matter of a fact, that's not good. Ooh, that's bad. We were so close. He's so close to dying. You know what? Do we get over the finish line with Burn? Is there a world? I think that there is. We're faster than him. Just go for pure damage. Raw damage.
아니다.
Second stagger. It's over. We win. Ah, we win the fight. Ah. Now it's just making me feel better. Yes. Ow. Oh. Oh, this is fine. Everything is fine. Oh, it knocked her into her base ego. Whoa.
이게 답이 아니었다고?
아, 다시 회복하는 건 너무나 멀쩡하게.
Yeah, so once again, thank you, Ren. I think I would have been stuck on this fight for ages if it weren't for you. So you know what? Round of applause for Ren. The the GOAT right now. I was given multiple teams to try. Multiple teams that I did not have the identities for, but regardless, I do appreciate the suggestions. However, Ren, first try using this strategy, we did it. So, yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. How'd we have Mr. Ricardo talk? I don't remember. I'm just... You regenerate like nothing happened. You know, he's a surfer dude now.
내 손질받았어야 할 어느 날의 머리는 다신 그러지 못할 텐데.
Unlike my hairdo, which should have received its rightful care that day, and will never recover. Can my clock even make a difference against someone so overwhelmingly powerful? My legs began to shake. Strategy, resurrections. It all seemed completely meaningless against this onslaught. Faust's voice calling my name has never sounded more hollow. That seems commanding. Speak, Faust!
다른 수를 생각해야 할 겁니다.
You must come up with a new plan.
저는 또다시 신체 활동을 멈출 것이기에 효과적으로 무언가를 조언하기는 어려울 겁니다.
My bodily functions will cease again in a matter of moments. This may be my last meaningful advice to you.
그리고 중지의 저자는 금방 당신까지 처리할 생각을 하겠죠.
And sooner or later, that man from the middle will come for you.
You know, if I had to think of a play, I think it's to rile up Ishmael. I think it's to really hammer down on her. Because we've seen she's the only one currently surviving the onslaught. And we've seen that she kind of goes nutso mode. So I think play into it. Like, even if you just gotta hit her over the head with like, you're gonna let another crew of yours die because you were too weak. I mean, there's a chance that she just comes for us, but I mean, hey, pretty much your best shot, right? What?
중지 소속과 얽히는 것은 예정에 있어선 안 되는 일이었습니다.
The involvement of an individual affiliated with the middle should not have happened.
당신이 시계를 몇 번이나 돌리던 결과는 같을 것이고 저자가 히스클리프를 이리저리 죽이는 것이 실증이 나면 곧 당신의 머리를 부수러 오겠죠.
It will not matter how many times you turn the clock. That man will crush your clock as soon as he tires of inventing different ways of killing Heathcliff.
단테 머리 뒤에 있는 조그만 버튼을 짧게 넌 길게 번을 누른 후
There is a button on the back of your head. Tap it times. Hold it times.
I'd grown accustomed to total annihilation. We've had plenty on our journey here. The sinners always gave their lives to learn our enemy's weakness or patterns, while I worked out a strategy from the rear. And the answer would always be somewhere within our reach. Slowly but surely, we'd figure out the answer, and for that promise of an answer, the sinners rose again. But this time was...
말씀드린 방법대로 수행하시면 당신의 머리에는 30초의 유예 시간 후 포결 반응이 일어납니다.
Once you have completed the sequence, you have 30 seconds before the charge in your head explodes.
쉽게 말해 자폭입니다.
In other words, you can self-detonate.
황금가지가 적대 세력의 손에 넘어가는 것을 대비하기 위해 마련되었던 최후의 대응 방법입니다.
That is our last resort. An emergency preventative measure to stop our enemies from getting their hands on the golden bows.
폭발의 범위는 크지 않지만 그 열과 강도는 굉장히 강하여 도시의 별에 해당하는 것들도 녹여버릴 수 있죠. 그 황금 가지를 소각시키기 위한 것이기도 하니까.
While the explosion radius may be small, the heat and force it generates are powerful enough to melt even the stars of the city. It should be effective enough to cremate the golden bows as well.
What about Vergilius? He said he'd come help before my head.
말씀하시면서 알아채신 것 같군요. 현 상황을 알릴 수단도 설령 안다고 해도 앞으로 2시간 가까이 저에게 오실 방법이 없습니다.
I see that you now have the full understanding of our predicament. We have no way of relaying our present situation to him. Even if he did learn of our troubles, he has no means to reach us within the next 2 hours.
What about the sinners? When I'm gone, you guys are...
알고 있어요. 제 세계는 여기서 끝이 나겠죠. 그러니 최후에 다다를 때서야 말씀드리는 방법입니다.
I am well aware of the consequences. My world will meet its end here. At That is why this is your last resort.
I could keep running away. I'll take a boat and try to stay alive under the laws of the lake. Let's Virgilius cross the borders and
확률이 완전히 0이라고 할 수는 없겠죠. 하지만 기대값이 낮습니다.
There is a chance, yes, but it is incredibly slim.
this was the second time after Siegfried. The overwhelming sense of dread. So overwhelming that it breaks even our fighting spirits. The incident with Siegfried was humiliating, but he wasn't there to obliterate us. He was just there to teach us a lesson. But this man, he's not gonna stop until he's completely broken every sinner's will. Until he's satisfied. Until the humiliation, the middle-faced is recuperated, he will kill.
LCB는 여기까지더라도 3개 아니 림버스 컴퍼니는 존속되어야 합니다. 단테 결단을
Even though this may be the end of LCB, the world, no, Limbus Company must continue to exist. Dante, you must make a judgment call.
재밌는 게 다 있네.
Look what we have here. He doesn't talk often enough for me to remember his voice. I'm sorry. I'm really trying. Look what we have here.
몸은 다 터져나갔으면서도 눈빛은 죽지도 않고 계속 일어서려고 하는군.
I've torn you to pieces. Yet with burning eyes, you still attempt to rise.
이딴 것들 때문에
We can't. Not here. Not like this.
역시 째깍째깍 돌아가면 시체가 되살아나는군.
Ah, TikTok can bring back the dead, huh?
세상 참 좋아졌네. 근데 저런 기술이 도시에 있어도 되는 거였나? 돌아가면 큰 누님에게 물어봐야겠군.
What a world we live in! Is that kind of tech even allowed in the city, though? Guess I'll go ask the Great Sister once I get back. Ishmael, we can't win. I'm sure Ishmael knew that better than anyone. I couldn't bring myself to tell her the same thing.
닥쳐요.
Shut up!
지랄 말고 계속 살려요.
Stop around to do your job.
다음 기회에 계속.
Give it another try, why don't ya?
살려. 다시.
Bring me back again.
Ishmael and I were nothing more than entertainment to him. With every turn of the clock, with every revival, he howled with laughter and clapped with joy. Ah, good, good! You nicked my sunglasses!
하지만 다음 기회에
Too bad. You'll have to try again.
내가 얼마나 많은 파도를 넘어왔는데.
I waves just to...
목숨만 무한정이면 어디까지라도.
As long as I can keep trying, I can... The mist thickens. It expands, devouring everything. Our futures, our hopes, and any slim chance of victory we had. And so does the fog of my sight, of my mind. Will this continue until either Ishmael gives up, or until he gets tired of this little game? Until he simply walks over and crushes my clock? Could Vergilius piece my shattered clock back? Is that even possible? If I did as Faust told me and blew up my head, not even a shred of me would be.
슬슬 똑같은 말만 들으니 지루해져 가는데.
Your repertoire's starting to get old.
메인 이벤트. 시계 부수기로 가볼까?
How about we just zoom right past that into the main event? I call this clock bashing.
안 돼! 단테! 뛰어요! 어떻게든 도망쳐!
No! Dante, run! Get out of here!
이 지경을 다 겪어도 아직 다리를 붙잡고 매달릴 정도면 당신 엄청 소중한 사람인가 보다.
That clock fella's gotta be someone so very precious to you, huh? Just look at her, hanging onto my leg after all that beating.
관리자는 단테는 안 돼!
Not the manager. No, not Dante. Not Dante. Should I press the button? Is that really gonna be my last ever thought? There was a distant sound, like an answer to my question. That solemn sound toiled clearly through the blinding fog. It was a skiff. One much smaller, much more modest than ours. When I see blue with smoke, the first thing I think of is Argalia, but who knows? It might be Vergilius, it might be someone else. From beyond the misty veil, the skiff slowly glided across the water in our direction. On it was a solitary figure holding an oar. A giant harpoon was attached to the bow of the ship.
What?
But why? The big brother of the middle, who could probably break that puny skiff in half with his bare hands, stares at it in stunned silence. It became clear that the skiff didn't float here by accident. When the figure on that boat began gently rowing in our direction, through the mist, we saw something flash atop the skiff. The figure hurled something in our general direction. It flew so fast that no human eye could catch it. I didn't even have the time to register that something was thrown before I noticed that something was piercing the big brother's left shoulder. Then, a powerful shockwave, far mightier than anything the pirates had fired earlier, struck us. The air itself quaked. It was not a distance that most people would even think about jumping across, but the figure leaped over from the skiff to the Lobotomy Corp branch gracefully with agility. The man from the middle, who so far had appeared unassailable, stumbled and fell to his knees. His shoulder was skewered.
당신.
You? That's when I finally noticed that what the figure had thrown was a harpoon. A harpoon too immense to be thrown by a mere person, let alone at such blinding speed. The hooded figure's arm was wreathed in a familiar light.
영감탱이.
You old geezer!
호수에서 물고기나 잡는 줄 알았는데 색을 달고 나서 기어코 청새치 고래 하나 잡았다더니 이젠 눈에 뵈는 게 없어서 중지도 고래로 보이나?
Thought you were out there fishing. What? You think you're some hot... Now that they made you a color? Just because you hunted the marlin whale? You challenging the middle to a hunt like we're some whale? Is that it?
나를 공격한다는 게 어떤 뜻인지는 알만한 사람일 텐데 말이야.
You're not the kind of idiot that would attack me without knowing the consequences.
중지도 고래와 다를 바 없지. 하지만 여기 온 것은 그 때문이 아니야.
The middle is no different from a whale. That's not why I am here.
그저 놓쳤던 고기를 잡으러 왔다네.
I'm just after a fish that got away.
아무렴 그러시겠지. 중지는 반드시 잊지 않고 기억한다는 걸 알고 있겠지?
Of course you are. I'm sure there's no need for me to remind you that the middle never forgets.
뭐 그 밴댕이 소갈머리 같은 책에 남는 공간이 있다면 적어 놓으세나.
Feel free to write me down in the remaining margins of that nasty little book, if you wish. The old man tugs the harpoon lodged in the big brother's shoulder. The big brother tried to hold his ground against the harpoon's pole until there was a crunch.
버티면 부서진다네.
Those that do not bend, break. The harpoon tore off his entire shoulder with it. It was a force that would have turned most people into tattered meat.
썩어도 준치군.
Not bad.
다음은 어떨까?
Would you like to give it another try?
그래, 좋아, 좋다고. 물러가지. 하지만 기억하는 게 좋을 거야.
Fine, fine. I'll leave for now. But don't you forget.
중지는 늘 기억해. 내가 했던 일은 중요하지 않아. 중주에게 등을 돌린 놈들은 중지가 반드시 기억하고 잊지 않는다.
The middle remembers. It doesn't matter what I did here. The middle will remember everyone and everything that dared to turn their back on it.
그리고 무조건 되갚아준다. 그게 어떤 형태든 간에.
And the middle always pays its debts, in whichever form. Ishmael and I had no choice but to watch in silence, in silent awe, as the old man approached us. The harpoon was still in his hand, and if he wished to strike us with it, we could never hope to get out of its way.
난 이 건물을 삼켜버린 내 고기를 찾고 있네.
I'm looking for the fish that consumed this structure.
자네들도 고기를 낚는 자들인가?
Are you two also here to fish?
의외군, 파우스터 씨.
This was unexpected of you, Faust.
다른 수감자도 아닌 당신이 이렇게 누추한 곳까지 거물을 모셔왔을 줄이야.
For you, of all sinners, to be the one to bring aboard a big shot to our humble abode.
뭐 죽다 살아왔는데 따뜻한 환영까지는 안 바래도.
You have any idea how many times that killed us? The least you could do is...
그래, 손버릇이 안 좋은 누굴 위해 개인 상담을 아무래도 다시 열긴 해야겠군.
Yes, that reminds me. I'll have to reopen my personal consultation hours for a certain kleptomaniac among us. Vergilius's obvious discontent at the involvement of an outsider didn't seem to bother Faust.
작전에 투입해야 하는 인물이라고 판단했습니다.
I considered him indispensable to the completion of this mission.
이유는
And why is that?
나는 그 창백한 고래를 잡을 수 있는 유일한 자일 테니까.
Because I am the only one who can hunt that pallid whale.
결할 테지.
Of course you are.
쪽빈 노인.
The Indigo Elder.
쪽빛! 즉색이라는 말씀이요? 내가 지금 즉색 두 명과 한 공간에 있다는 말인가?
She is just adorable. Dude, the like, it's like the raw excitement. I can never hope to match it. Oh boy. Indigo? He is a color? Thou meanest to say that I at this very moment am sharing a space with not one but two color fixers?
보수 어딘가에서 고래들을 잡으러 떠돈다고 들었지.
I heard that you were wandering the Great Lake to hunt its whales.
마지막으로 들려오는 소문에 따르면 오재앙 중 하나인 모든 것을 꿰뚫는 청새치 고래를 낚았다 하더군.
And last I heard, you hunted one of the 5 calamities, the all-impaling marlin whale.
The old man grunted. It was neither a confirmation nor a denial. But that was the way the old man was. Everyone understood that.
정황상 황금가지는 호수를 표류하는 고래에게 먹혔습니다.
All circumstantial evidence suggests that the golden bow was devoured by the whale stranded at the Great Lake.
외곽에서만 보였다던 오지양 중 하나인 그 창백한 고래입니다.
Yes, that very same pallid whale of the 5 calamities, normally observed in the outskirts.
역시 그렇겠지. 결국 그런 흐름일 테니까.
Of course. That's how these things always tend to flow.
시간을 많이 뺏겼네. 본론으로 들어가시. 나는 창백한 고래를 잡길 원한다.
We've wasted much time, so I'll be blunt. I wish to hunt the pallid whale.
그리고 우리는 남는 게 시간뿐이지.
Yes, and time's all we have.
또한 저희는 그 고래가 어디로 향할지 알고 있습니다.
Moreover, we know where the whale is headed.
당신은 그 고래를 잡기 위해 오랫동안 관찰하고 기회를 엿보며 나름의 방법을 터득한 분일 테죠.
And I am certain that you have spent a significant amount of time observing and learning that whale to hunt it.
이건 어때요?
I've got a plan.
원한다면 믿기든 뭐든 되어드리죠.
And I'll do anything to make it work. Even if you only want me there as bait.
그 방법은
And this is how we'll do it.
The crowd fell silent when Ishmael finished explaining her plan.
미쳤군. 아까 혼자서 제일 많이 처맞고 나더니 아예 단단히 돌아버렸어.
You're mad. All that thrashing's finally sent you off the deep end.
이건 내 목적일 뿐이에요. 겸사겸사 가는 길에 황금가지가 있는 거고.
I'm just going there for my mission, and the golden bow just happens to be in the same direction.
당신들 알아서 결정해요. 아, 관리자님의 결정이 제일 중요하겠죠.
I'll leave it up to you. Well, to the manager, since their decision matters the most.
아무튼 이 회사나 저나 목적을 달성하려는 방법을 모색할 뿐이에요.
His company, me, we're both just trying to find a way to reach our goals. That's all this is.
그리고 딱히 이렇다 할 방법도 없잖아요. 안 그래요?
Besides, does anyone have a better idea?
나는 반대야. 저걸 정상적인 생각이라고 들어주는 것부터가 잘못됐어.
No. Can't agree to that. We're making a mistake by even entertaining that barmy idea.
한 가지 질문이 남았네.
I must ask you one last thing.
붉은색. 자네도 이 낚시에 함께 하는가?
Will you join us to fish, Red?
The Indigo Elder suddenly broke his silence with a question.
물밑에 사는 비린 것들을 사냥하는 취미나 조이에는 없기도 하지만
I'm not experienced or particularly skilled at hunting marine life, but
그런 문제보다 우선되는 게 있어서 말이야.
I have other, more important concerns that prevent me from joining.
최악의 상황이 아니라면 내가 앞에 나서는 일은 없을 거다.
So, no. Unless the worst comes to pass, I will not take part.
The old man rose from his seat and walked off as though he was about to leave.
잠깐. 기다려줄 수 있겠나?
Wait a moment.
길잡이가 참여하지 않더라도 승산은 있을 수 있다. 계획을 면밀히 짠다면 우리끼리 충분히 수행할 수 있을 테니.
We don't need the guide. With the proper plan, we are more than capable of completing this mission.
그렇게 섣불리 포기하는 것은
To give up so quickly is...
거절한다고 말한 적 없네.
I never said I am.
창백한 고래를 잡으려면 이 요란한 비명을 지르는 배로는 힘들 것이.
This loud, screaming ship won't do in our hunt for the Pallid whale.
Screaming? I didn't think Mephistolis was that loud.
가까이 그리고 은밀히 다가가야 하므로 좁으면서도 튼튼한 배가 필요하지.
To hunt it, the boat must remain near and covert. A narrow and sturdy boat is what we need.
아니 그러면 왜 베르길리우스 씨가 안 도와준다니까 바로 승낙을 한 거지?
Huh? So all you needed to hear was that Vergilius wasn't going to help out? Why?
그러게. 오히려 손이 줄게 되어서 거절할 줄 알았는데.
Right. This could go much smoother if Vergi was helping us, but was with us.
말씀하신 배는 저희 쪽에서 구비하고 있습니다. 필요하다면 한 척을 더 내어드리죠.
We can prepare a boat that fits your specifications, should you request it.
아니, 나는 내 배로 좋게.
That's all right. I'll sail on my own skiff.
그 낚싯배? 고래가 꼬리만 퍼덕이면 다 부서질 것 같이 생겼던데.
That old dinghy? That whale could split it in two with a light wag of its tail.
아니, 저 배 상태는 구려 보여도 어지간해서 부서지지 않는 배다.
No. That skiff. It may not look like much, but it is extremely durable.
엑스사의 합금을 사용했구려. 구하기 힘든 자료였을 텐데.
I see that X-Corp's alloys have been used in its construction. That could not have been an easy ingredient to come by.
혹시 그 또한 특색이 가지는 혜택의 일종인가? 소문으로 들었는데.
Ooh, another benefit of having a color bestowed upon thee, then. I have heard tale of... Instead of entertaining that bombardment of questions, he approached me.
보아하니 지금까지 호수에서 선원들은 자네의 시계로 인해 목숨을 부지해 온 것 같군.
I noticed it in that earlier scuffle. That clock seems to have been you and your crew's lifeline.
어떤 원리인지는 모르겠으나 특이점의 일종일 테지.
I know not how it works, but I presume it is a singularity of sorts.
하지만 그 고래에게는 통하지 않을 능력일 거야.
It will not work against the whale.
그러니 지금부터라도 모든 것을 되돌릴 수 있다고 맹신하지는 말게.
So start now. Get used to the idea that not everything can be brought back.
Why? Why did you accept? Even after Virgilius opted out. It was a question I've been unable to let go.
어째서 베르길리우스 씨의 도움 없이도 작전을 수락하였냐고 물어보네요.
Dante asks why you accepted our request, even after Virgilius opted out of it.
질문이 틀렸군. 오히려 붉은색이 나섰다면 거절했을 것이네.
You asked me the wrong question. I would have denied your request had Red agreed to take part.
붉은색과 내가 나선다면 시간은 걸리더라도 반드시 그 고래를 잡을 수 있겠지. 둘 중 하나가 죽을 테지만.
Let's say that Red joined us. We would together battle the whale in a long and arduous struggle. In the end, the whale would surely go down, taking one of us with it.
그래서 붉은색이 나선다면 거절할 생각이었네.
That is why I would have opted out if Red chose to join us.
그간 내가 잡은 것이 아닌 게 되니까.
Because the hunt would no longer be mine.
그게 무슨 말이야? 이해가 되지 않소.
Whatever doth thou mean? Thy intentions elude me.
한계에 부딪힐 수 없다는 뜻이네.
I mean that I would not be able to test the limits.
한계? 지금 무슨 말을 하는 거예요?
The limits? What are you even talking about?
필요하도.
Look, to hunt that whale, we have to prepare with everything we have. And
지도에 그어진 도시. 그 테두리 너머에 있는 외곽까지가 사람이 두려워하여 그어버렸던 선이라면.
Out of fear, humans drew borders even to the outskirts that lie beyond the city limits.
그 뒤에는 두려움을 넘어 이해조차 하지 못할 별들이 있는 곳이 있지.
Beyond it are stars that lie beyond the edge of understanding, beyond even the concept of fear itself.
나는 선을 넘어 그 이해에 맞서려는 어부라네.
I am but a fisherman, seeking to cross the borders and challenge that very understanding.
설마 외곽 너머를 말하는 건가?
are you talking about what lies beyond the outskirts? Its outreaches?
그 고래는 모든 걸 집어삼키고 재앙을 부르고 다녀요. 그걸 어떻게?
That whale devours everything. It brings nothing but calamity. How could you?
자네는 먹잇감이 되어 본 적이 있는 선원이군.
Ah, so you have been a prey once, sailor.
이곳에 있는 수많은 호수도 모든 걸 집어삼키고 재앙을 부르지.
Countless lakes here also devour, summon calamities.
언젠가 중요한 갈피에 놓이게 되었을 때 자신의 목숨은 전혀 아깝지 않다는 생각이 들게 된다면
If you find yourself at a crossroads, if you find that your life is worth nothing in the face of what lies before you,
지금 했던 이야기를 다시 한번 떠올려 보게.
recall this conversation.
나는 원래 조언을 해주는 것에 익숙하지 않아.
I'm no good with advice. Never was.
그럼에도 몇 마디 던져 놓는 것은
Still, I thought I'd part a few words.
같은 노를 저어가는 사람에 대한 동질감이라고 해두지.
As a fellow seafarer, suppose I felt a bit of kinship.
As per the old man's directions, we rowed on the skiff prepared on Mephistopheles. I saw Ishmael moments before boarding the skiff on Mephistopheles. This was Ishmael's plan, but I had no way of knowing what she was really thinking. I had an inkling, yes, and so far I've been going along with those vague guesses. Vague guesses that led to disasters. So, I had to ask her myself. Ishmael, what do you really want?
내가 원하는 건
What I really want. Oh my. I see another vision of Ishmael. She was hiding it well from the other sinners and Virgilius, but I could clearly see what she really wanted. Her true desire. Ishmael, you... She was lifting a body from the waters. A body that was torn asunder. Shattered bones, strips of muscle tissue, flesh. Ishmael trembled with elation before what looked like the captain's mutilated corpse.
뭐예요?
What?
얼른 가죠.
Come on, let's get going. As we discussed earlier, we took a different route from the Indigo Elder. We were to first arrive at separate destinations for our plan. Something's floating over there. Not long after we crossed the line where the lake water turned dark gray, we noticed something pale peeking out from the lake.
저건 섬인 걸까요?
Are those
많네요.
islands? There's a lot of them.
암초일 수도 있다. 어쩌면 이번 호수는 이러한 장애물들을 피하며 항해하는 게 중요한 곳일지도 모르겠군.
They may be reefs. Perhaps that is what is this lake's challenge. To navigate it while avoiding them to the best of our abilities.
크기가 들쭉날쭉하긴 하네요. 저건 암초라고 보기엔 크기가 엄청 커요.
Well, they sure do look rocky, but they're too big to be called reefs.
뭔가 느껴지는 것이 있어, 단테.
Do you sense aught, Dante?
저것들이 몰려있지 않은 공간을 찾아 나아갈 수도 있겠지만 그쪽이 틀린 방향이라면 작전이 물거품이 될 테니.
We may attempt to discover a path that does not lead into an area cluttered with such obstacles. Yet, that would require us to hazard a path unknown. It may lead to this plan's ruin.
대략적인 방향이라도 알려주시면 그걸 기반으로 예상 위치를 계산해 보겠습니다.
If you can sense even the most general direction of the golden bow, please relay it to me. I can use that to approximate its location.
쪽빛 노인이 준 정보도 있으니 예측은 어느 정도의 정확성이 보장될 거라고 판단됩니다.
I can assure you a degree of accuracy, now that we have with us additional data provided by the Indigo Elder.
뭐야, 시계 대가리가 나침반 역할을 하는 거야? 진작 그랬으면.
Why couldn't you have just been our magic compass to begin with, Clockhead?
호수라는 특수성을 가진 광활하게 넓고 트여 있는 공간이라 시도되는 방법일 뿐입니다.
They are able to do this only under the peculiar conditions of the Great Lake, which has very few in the way of obstacles.
육지의 도시는 지상과 지하로 온갖 건축물과 그 안에 높은 밀도의 사람들로 가득 차 있기 때문에 황금가지를 근거리가 아니면 느끼기도 어렵고 가리킨 방향대로 간다 해도 거대한 벽이 막고 있으면 의미가 없죠.
The moment I saw the text was small, I was like, uh-oh.
The urban areas of the city are dense with structures, both high and low, and into the underground. The higher population density also complicates matters. Considering that Dante can detect the golden bow only in close proximities, considering that there may be insurmountable obstacles in our way, their sense will not be of much help there.
결국 다른 데에서는 다시 시계 대가리라는 거구만.
So, they're back to just being your usual Clockhead anywhere else. Huh. So that's why. That's why I could feel the golden bow here, even when it was so far away. I raised my finger and pointed towards the general direction of this vague feeling.
확인했습니다. 해당 방향으로 선회하죠.
Confirmed. We will turn the ship around in that direction.
Ishmael wordlessly steered the ship according to Faust's words. We grew ever nearer to the island, or reef. A heavy silence descended upon the sinners.
Oh.
Until Ishmael gasped with the sudden realization.
이 호수였구나.
It's this lake.
There was an incomprehensible look on Ishmael's face. Maybe I saw unrestrained joy. The joy of finding something she's been searching for so long. Such an overwhelming, all-consuming happiness that her facial muscles began to twitch on their own. Maybe I saw extreme fear. The fear in the face of destined, unavoidable horror. The lake's splashing waves hit her trembling face and rolled down her cheeks. Or maybe she was sweating from dread.
이스마엘, 무언가 깨달은 정보가 있는 건가요?
How did she just say that? Ismail? Ismail? Have I been saying it wrong this whole time? Ismail? Hang on.
Ishmael. Ishmael.
Maybe she just said it weird. I don't know.
네. 여기서 어떻게 해야 할지는 너무 명확하게 알고 있죠.
Yeah. Here. I know what to do from here. I know exactly what to do.
오티스 씨, 저는 후미에 있어서 확실하게 보이지 않아요. 그러니까 지금 우리 배 앞에 어떤 것들이 몇 개나 어느 정도의 크기인지 제게 빠짐없이 알려주세요.
Otis, I can't clearly see what's in front of us from back here. Tell me precisely what you see. Their numbers, their sizes, all of it.
암초들 주변에는 거센 해류가 흐르고 있으니 빠르게 피할 방법을 파악해야 하는 건가? 알았다.
Trying to avoid the wild currents and find a safe path around these rocks? Understood. Otis nodded empathetically. Empathic. With empathy. Before rising from her seat to gaze at the path ahead, she balanced herself as the ship rocked.
350m 가량의 민무늬에 번들거리는 초소형 암초 하나. 그보다 500m쯤 먼 거리에 복처럼 툭 붉어진 모양이 상징적인 중간 규모의 암초 하나.
About 350 meters ahead, minuscule, plain-patterned, glistening rock. About 500 meters ahead of that is a medium-sized rock. It has a bump on top of it that stands out.
계속하세요.
Continue.
그리고 그것과 얼마 떨어지지 않은 거리에 구멍이 숭숭 뚫린 거친 질감의 대형 규모의 섬. 자세히 보니 그런 것들이 서너 개 뭉쳐 있는 모양새군.
Not so far ahead from there is a large island with a rough, porous surface. Oh, upon closer inspection, it's like an archipelago of 3-4 similar islands.
좋아요.
Good.
Ishmael began fiddling with the steering gear and the engine's output levels, as though something had clicked in her mind.
좋아. 첫 번째 암초는 성공적으로 통과했다.
Good. We've made it past the first rock.
뭔가 암초라기에는 생각했던 질감하고는 다르네요.
Its texture was a bit different from that of a normal rock, wasn't it?
잘 알. 저건 단단한 암석이나 흙재질로 만들어지지 않았군.
That's not the texture of a rock, or even soil.
두 번째도 통과.
We just passed the second one.
야, 앞에 덩치 큰 놈하고 길쭉한 놈한테 가려져서 안 보여서 그런데 재질이 뭐가 이상하단 거야?
Oi, what's so weird about the texture? I can't see over the big boy and the long one.
저건 살아 숨쉬는 거다.
That there is a living, breathing thing.
뭐?
What?
잠깐, 물개. 니놈 어디로 좋다는 거냐? 이대로면 세 번째 암초에 부딪힌다.
Wait, Swabby, watch where you're steering this ship. We're going to crash into that third rock at this rate.
맞게 가는 거예요, 오티스 씨. 우린 거기에 내릴 거거든요.
And that's what I'm going to do, Otis. That's where we get off.
잠깐, 저거 말하는 거야? 저 기분 나쁜 구멍이 숭숭 뚫린 섬?
That rock? That creepy porous rock over there?
야, 쳐들었어도 혼자서만 난리치라고. 저 위에 사람은커녕 나무 한 그루도 없는데 뭘 어깨 따고 내려?
Oi, feel free to crash into a rock on your own free time, but don't take all of us with you. There's not even a single tree up there, let alone a person. What the bloody... Are we anchoring there for?
생각하는 방식부터 틀렸어요, 당신.
You gotta screw your head on in a different direction in the Great Lake, Heathcliff.
뭐가 틀렸다는? 으아!
What are you talking about? A loud shock and an ear-splitting sound of the skiff scratching and sliding against something cut Heathcliff off.
야이씨, 운전 똑바로 안 해?
Do you even know where you're going, woman?
아니, 맞겠군.
Oh yes, she knows. Hoo-hoo.
이 흰색 설마 이스마일 씨?
Wait, that white color. Ishmael?
네, 애초에 이것들은 섬이 아니에요.
Yeah, those aren't islands or rocks.
What we thought were islands suddenly rumbled, vibrating, as ground tremors from an earthquake.
전부 어느 고래의 일부예요. 이건.
They're all part of a whale.
A colossal creature shudders as it wakes from a long slumber.
나만 믿고 다들
Whoa!
지켜줘. 도움이 될 수 있을 거야.
Whoa. That's a pretty cool stage. Alright, what are we up against? Pallid Blue Mermaid. Sinking, Pallid Noise. Yeah, I think we've been against these guys before for each palidified ally. Okay, maybe not quite. They're a little bit different. Gain 2 offense level and defense level for every living palified ally, not counting this unit. At 10% of max HP, inflict 20 SP damage on hit. Okay, so interesting. So they're mermaids, but they've been turned pallid. Okay, I understand. I'm getting that. So real quick, I wanted to I know it's a bit of an interruption. I wanted to show you guys something a bit funny, at least to me. So I had every intention for when this chapter was finished, we were going to, from then on, use Prequad Captain Ishmael, which, you know, it's an identity that came out a while ago. And as you can tell, I don't have it. So I was like, okay, well, lucky me, guess what we got? We have 400 Ishmael tokens. So you know what? I'm just gonna get it.
좋아, 알아들었어. 땅덩어리인 척하던 이것들이 전부 고래였고 이 숭숭 뚫린 구멍 같은 것들에게서 인어가 튀어나온다는 것도 알겠어.
Right, I get it. I get it now. All of these rocks were actually whales. And I get that mermaids pop out of those pores.
근데 피해갈 수도 있는 싸움을 왜 굳이 하는 거냐? 어?
But I think that it's a loony thing that... Why are we even drawing their ire, huh? We could have just gone around them.
스트레스 해소? 뭐 그런 거냐? 두더지 잡듯이?
Looking to let off some steam? Hankering for a game of whack-a-mole all of a sudden? Is that it?
그럴 리가 있나요?
Of course not.
제가 알고 있는 게 이 방법뿐인 거예요.
This is just the only method I know.
설명할 생각으로 그렇게 말했을 거라고 믿는다.
You better be ready to explain what you're talking about. Heathcliff, furious, wasn't the only sinner looking at Ishmael with expectant eyes. There were Otis and the other sinners who all looked to her for some answers. Ishmael. And I was too, of course.
저도 이걸 진짜 하게 될 줄은 몰랐는데.
I also didn't think I'd actually be doing this.
전설 같은 이야기였죠.
Well, so there's this legend-like tale.
전설이요?
Legend?
대호수를 떠들고 여기를 터전 삼는 사람들이 많은 만큼 나누어진 호수의 종류만큼이라고 해야 할까요?
Each lake of the Great Lake has its own culture, with many wandering and choosing to call those places their homes. So naturally, there are as many tales as there are lakes.
뱃사람들에게는 그 호수에 대한 이야기가 구전되어 전설처럼 들려오곤 해요.
But there's that one tale of a certain lake that is passed down orally from sailor to sailor, just like the legends of old.
이 부유하는 울렁이고 어두운 잿빛 호수. 이곳에도 노랫가락에 맞추어 불려오던 전설이 존재했죠.
The legend of the gloomy gray lake of wafting and rumbling. Sailors sang the legend of that lake, passing it down for years upon years.
해무에 숨겨져 있는 공간을 열기 위해 두드려라.
Doom, and hew thy veiled path to misty seas.
창백한 그 색을 찾기 위해 고래들을 울게 해라. 알맹이를 들춰내라.
Big gloom, and let whales draw their pearls in search of pallid hue.
고래의 울음소리 갖춰지면 드러나리.
Tomb shall be thy mist path, heeding the weeping whales.
그래서 그게 당최 무슨 뜻이오?
Whatever does that mean?
지금처럼 이 호수에 있는 구멍 고래들을 깨워서 인어들을 다 잡으면 창백한 고래에게 가는 길이 열린다는 말이에요.
It's simple. Hit the poorest whales to wake them, draw out and hunt their mermaids, and the path to the pallid whale should clear out of the mist.
그러니까 그걸 지금 믿으란 거지. 너도 믿고 있고, 어?
Do you really believe that? You expect us to just believe that hogwash?
야, 살다 내가 이런 말을 꺼내게 될 줄은 진짜로 몰랐는데.
Blimey. Didn't think I'd ever get to say these words before my deathbed, but...
너 멍청하냐?
Are you stupid?
야, 고래를 깨우는 거랑 저 빽빽한 안개가 거치는 거랑 대체 무슨 연관이 있냐? 적어도 어느 정도 말이 되어야 할 거 아니야.
Listen, what does waking these whales up have anything to do with getting rid of that thick fog? It's got to make even a little bit of sense, no?
히스클리프 씨가 인과관계를 가지고 논파하고 있는 장면은 정말 진귀하군요.
Heathcliff discusses the correlation between actions and consequences. This truly is a rare experience indeed.
왜 안 돼? 좀 닥쳐라. 나 진지하니까.
Shut up, smart. I'm serious.
시간 안에 호수에서 벗어나지 못하면 파도가 밀려온다는 사실은 뭐 말이 되나요?
And you think the law that sends waves after us if we don't cross the borders at the exact right moment makes sense?
어?
정해진 공간에 도달하기 위해 직선 항해를 하지 못하고 왔던 항로로 바로 되돌아가지도 못한 채 여기저기를 돌아다녀야만 하는 건 말이 되고요?
You think the law that makes us go in circles before reaching our destination, the law that doesn't let us go back from the way we came from, makes any sense?
제가 처음부터 말씀드렸죠. 대호수에서 상식을 찾지 말라고.
I've been telling you this whole time. Common sense has no place in the Great Lake.
여기는 그렇게 돌아가는 곳이에요. 그냥 그런 거라고요.
That's just the way this place works, okay? Just, you have to accept that.
좋아. 그건 네 말이 맞아. 근데 그런다고 해서 좌편이 뭐니 그렇게 딱딱 정해져 있는 도시 규칙이랑 그런 두루뭉술한 노래랑은 완전 다른 거 아니야? 그딴 걸 믿으라고?
Fine. I'll give you that. But they're like the laws of the city. As outlandish as they are, they're still strict laws that can be calculated into those variable coordinates or whatnot. What you're blathering here is some vague old song. Am I supposed to believe something so absurd?
내가 직접 겪고 봤으니까.
Yes, because I've seen it myself.
그 옛날 아무것도 모르는 치기 어린 항해사가 직접 배를 탔었고 직접 전설이 사실이었다는 걸 깨달았으니까.
Years ago, when a young, stupid, but motivated sailor boarded the ship, she had the most unfortunate opportunity of witnessing this very legend with her own eyes.
그렇게 창백한 고래를 마주쳤으니까.
Because that's how she saw the pallid whale.
Heathcliff fell silent, scratching his head. The rest of the sinners also nodded and began whispering.
나는 네가 진짜 마음에 안 든다.
I really don't like you.
비쳐요.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
정말 죄다 마음에 안 들지만 적어도 말다툼에서 이기겠다고 거짓말을 하거나 흰 소리를 늘어놓진 않는다는 건 알아.
I don't like any of this. But I know you're not the kind of lass to lie or tell tall tales just to get the upper hand in a petty squabble.
어디 끝까지 해봐. 일단 이 방망이로 두더지 같은 새끼들 후려치는 건 할만하니까.
Fine. Let's go all the way to the end. I'll keep whacking those mole-like things with this club.
나도 납득했다. 하지만 다음엔 그런 이유가 있다면 먼저 말해줬으면 좋겠군.
I can also accept your explanation. But, from now on, I would appreciate it if you could share your knowledge with us first before doing anything.
노력해보죠.
I'll try.
어떤 의미에선 확실한 방향을 알게 되어서 다행이라는 생각도 드는군요.
In a way, I am now relieved that we have a definite path forward.
Yeah. Well, let's go find our next whale.
명령하신 대로.
Yes, Executive Manager.
청원, 승선.
All aboard, men!
과연 해무가 마치 쪼개지듯이 걷히고 있구려.
Truly, the ocean mist is splitting as though a blade has hewn it in half.
Once we eliminated the mermaids of the last whale singled out by Ishmael, the fog slowly began to fade. Behind it was a different lake, beyond the Great Sea.
마침내.
Finally.
날씨가 제법 굿다.
The weather there is quite hostile.
Mersault was right. The lake beyond the borders was nigh pitch black, the waves crested tall, rising and crashing violently under the thundering rainstorm.
풍랑 또한 심해지는군.
The wild winds have begun to sway the boat.
Yisong's face was starting to grow pale.
저희가 정말 할 수 있을까요?
I'm starting to wonder if we can really do this.
언제나 할 수 있어서 했던 적이 있었냐?
Did we ever let that stop us from trying?
그건 그렇지.
I guess that's true.
진입하겠습니다.
Alright. Heading into the zone.
이 호수의 파도는 신경 쓰지 않아도 되나?
Are there any laws of the lake that we must be mindful of?
이 앞에 있는 구역에 대한 규칙이나 파도의 종류는 저도 몰라요.
I don't know the laws of that lake, nor its waves.
해무가 열리는 모습, 그 안에 파도치는 시커먼 호수는 기억에 있지만
I remember the way the fog split open. I remember the obsidian sea and the endless tempest.
전설이 실제하는 모습을 지켜본 선장이 흥분해서 떠들던 연설과 고래를 잡기 위한 채비를 서둘렀던 기억만 남아있어요.
But the rest of it, all I remember is that the captain was excitedly delivering a speech at witnessing the legends come to life, and that we were all busy preparing for the whale hunt.
그러니까 이 앞부터는 진짜 모험입니다.
So, what awaits us ahead is a real adventure. We'll be sailing blindly into the night.
그럼 모든 걸 정면으로 맞서야만 되겠군.
Then, we'll have to face everything head on.
네, 파도가 오면 정면으로 부딪힐 겁니다.
Yes, if the waves come to claim us, we will face them head on.
그 고래가 나타나도요.
Even the whale.
아직까진 조용하네요.
No signs of that whale yet, though.
그때는 호수에 진입한 지 몇 분도 되지 않아서 그것이 공격해 왔어요.
Back then, it attacked us mere minutes after we entered the lake. Everyone was as tense as they could ever be, looking around nervously.
저건 뭔가요? 뭔가 길고 높은 게 있는 것 같은데.
Wait, what's that? There's something there. Something tall.
가까이 다가가 보는 걸 추천한다. 내가 일어나 광원을 가까이 비추겠다.
A close approach is recommended. I have a source of light to improve our visibility.
Mersault got up with a lantern and pointed the light toward where Sinclair indicated.
하나가 아니네요.
There's several of them?
저게 뭐지? 호수 한가운데 저런 게 떠 있을 필요가.
What's that? Heck, who even put them there? What are they even for?
등대 같은 건 아닐까?
Maybe they're like lighthouses?
근데 그렇게 보이기도 하네요.
Lighthouses? Yeah, I can kind of see that.
Do you remember seeing anything like that, Ishmael?
네, 기억이 흐릿한 정도가 아니라 저런 건 아예 본 적이 없는.
No, I don't even have a hazy recollection of it. I've never seen it before in my...
이스마엘 양, 그대도 갑작스레 뱃멀미가 도지는 것이오.
Just him being seasick is so funny.
Ishmael, has the nausea of the swaying sea gotten to you as well?
안색이 무척 창백하오만.
Your face has grown rather pale.
I knew that that can't be true. A seasick sailor only exists in jokes. Besides, Ishmael was doing just fine mere moments ago. Then, she must have had a sudden realization.
그렇군. 이런 모습이었던 거였어. 일부만으로도 저렇게.
I see. So that's what it looked like. Even a small part of it is
A terrifying realization.
어떤 건데 그래요?
What is it?
알기 싫어도 알게 될 걸.
You'll find out soon enough, even if you don't want to.
저건 헤일인가?
There! A rogue wave ahead!
총원! 잡을 수 있는 건 전부 꽉 잡고 있도록!
All hands brace! Grab onto what you can! Before we even had the chance to say anything, a leviathan of a wave rose to its crest, then crashed onto us from above, and sucked us deep into the lake before throwing us back to the surface.
운이 좋았군요. 그대로 가라앉을 확률이 더 컸을 텐데.
We were lucky. There was a high chance that the following vortex would have dragged the vessel deep underwater.
아니, 운이 좋은 거 맞냐 우리? 방금
Lucky! You saw what was down there? That was... Everyone okay? Everyone was soaking wet, nearly hyperventilating, but mostly awestruck by what we've just witnessed.
이탈자는 없습니다만.
We have everyone, but...
방금 본 건
What we just saw down there were...
등대 같은 게 아니라 모조리.
Teeth? They were lighthouses. They were...
엄청나게 큰 고래들의
Oh.
꼬리였군요.
Tails of colossal whales!
아, 진짜 그만하고 싶네 이거.
Wow, okay. I really want to give up now.
고래라는 게 저 따위로 생긴 거였다는 걸 모를 때로 돌아가고 싶어.
I want to go back to the time when I didn't really know what the whales look like.
이 호수는 고래들이 잠들러 오는 곳이었던 건가?
So this is the lake where the whales come to sleep.
그래. 목을 기울이고 잠들고 있으면 그 부분이 저렇게 높게 솟아오를 수도 있겠지.
Yeah. If they're deep in the water with their necks bent like that, I could see their tails rising tall over the surface.
하지만 이 소란스러움을 눈치채지 못할 리가 없어.
But there's no way they missed this commotion.
기울고 있어요.
The ship is... We're keeling over!
이제 저것들이 깨어날 거예요.
The whales are waking up.
We're finally here. I think that's what Ishmael whispered. But the storm, the waves buried her voice deep into the lake.
쪽빛 노인이 작전대로 무사히 합류했다면
If the Indigo Elder made it here as we planned,
저게 고래란 말인가?
Over yonder! Is that the whale? we didn't have to wonder even for a second about what Dawn was screaming at. An entire herd of entities, each dwarfing every single whale we've weathered throughout this journey, emerged from the waters all at once. In unison, they began migrating in a singular direction. To witness something like that was enough to make even Mersault gape with plain bewilderment.
여기까지의 작전은 성공인 것 같군요.
Looks like things are going according to plan.
그렇다면 우리도 이야기되었던 대로 행동하지.
And we'll have to do our part.
저기
There was a whale that stood out even among the herd of ineffably immense whales. Pallid as the pale death, its hide thick with scar tissue.
유독 상처가 많군.
That one's particularly scarred.
찾았다.
I found it.
역시 그 사람의 말이 맞았어. 그때 우리가 피쿼드호가 냈던 상처 자국이 그대로잖아.
Yes, he was right. The wounds, the scars that the pre-quad made, they're all still there.
그것을 발견했나 보군, 드디어.
I assume that you have finally located the whale?
그렇다고 생각됩니다.
I believe so, yes.
언제나 그렇듯 작전의 성공률은 형편없이 낮을 테지.
As always, the chance of success must be minuscule.
그렇습니다.
Indeed it is.
노자비!
Ishmael thundered. Ishmael? No, louder than the thunder itself, as though her personality itself had suddenly shifted. Her voice seemed to overwhelm the very storm itself.
대답해! 노잡은 놈들!
그래!
Eh? Aye!
목표는 저 흰 것이다! 총력으로!
총력으로 저!
Full speed ahead! Row! Even Otis was swept up in the sudden turn of events, repeating after Ishmael's bellowing commands. Is this what Ishmael was like when she sailed the lakes? Or... or is this the captain?
불빛이 보입니다. 쪽빛 노인이군요.
I see light. It's the Indigo Elder. The old man and his skiff was sliding across the waters towards the whale.
잘 듣게.
Listen well.
잠에서 깬 나머지 고래는 전부 던져놓은 미끼를 향해 갔네.
The rest of the awakened whales have gone after the bait I've laid for them.
작전은 성공적이다. 이제
Then the plan worked. Now, it wasn't clear whether it was the thunder or the old man's bellows that awakened the pallid whale. Its eyelids began to lift.
이런 걸 이렇게 가까이서 보는 건 오랜만이군.
It's been so long since I've witnessed anything like this up close. It was an eye of astronomical proportions, so immense that it no longer resembled an eye, but a reflective mirror of the world.
직접 보는 것을 고대했지. 이 눈칼.
Oh, how I wish to see you eye to eye.
The old man, harpoon in hand, draws closer to the whale with a grim, stony expression. Ishmael also aims her harpoon at the great whale, her face nearly tearing with uncontainable joy. Some sinners tremble with fear, while others prepare themselves. All of it, the world, contained in a single reflective eye that stretched even beyond our peripheral visions.
자, 물고기야. 너도 미끼를 물어라.
Now here's your bait, fish. Bite on it.
물 수밖에 없을 거다. 너는 언제나 그래 왔으니까.
I know you have no other choice. Biting, devouring's all you've ever known.
내가 헤아리기 힘든 세월을 살아왔으며 내가 이해하지 못할 곳에서 태어났음을 존중하마.
I respect you, Pallid Whale. I respect that you have lived years in numbers that I cannot even begin to imagine. I respect that you hail from a place beyond my ken.
하지만
But
난 이 기회가 지나가기 전에 이 몸으로 너와 맞서 이해의 끝으로 향할 작정이다.
I will take this chance to stand before you, to challenge you. And with this challenge to the edge of understanding, I will row.
The giant harpoon soars across the black sky like a bolt of levin and strikes the pallid whale.
지금이다. 배를 힘껏 저어서 나아가자.
Now was our chance. Row on, row on! Ishmael rose tall and alone, looking straight out beyond the speeding boat, swaying bow, harpoon in her hand.
너를 다시 마주치면 무슨 생각이 들까? 많이 생각해봤었어.
I've been thinking ever since then about what feelings you might dig up from my heart if I saw you again.
근데 의외로 복잡하지는 않네.
But this feeling is much more straightforward than I expected.
반갑다. 미 빌어먹을 고래 새끼야.
Nice meeting you again. You... Compared to the old man's harpoon, the harpoon Ishmael hurled was like a needle. But once struck, as though its body was racked by an immense, unbearable pain, the pallid whale's maw opened, and the air itself began to vibrate.
입이 벌어진다.
Its maw opens!
가세나, 난 고기잡이를 시작할 테니.
Go. I will now fish this beast.
Every sinner heard the old man's voice. Every sinner begins rowing with all their might. In desperation, as though death itself was in our pursuit. As though it was our fate, our destiny to row. We were sucked into an endless abyss. And a rapid vortex pulled us into the maws of the beast, tenebrous as a well under a moonless sky. There was a deep noise, and like a droplet in sea, we melted into the fathomless dark.
들리나? 작전은 어떻게 되었지?
Acknowledge. Acknowledge. How goes the plan?
들리나? 어이,
Acknowledge. Hey!
아무래도 무전기가 정말로 맛이 가버린 모양이군.
Looks like the radio's broken for good.
걱정이야.
Worrying.
And here it is. It's time to suppress the dungeon boss. Why are you telling me this? During the final stretch of each chapter, you'll be exploring a dungeon. Right. Right?
밧줄은 퀴케그의 어마어마한 악력으로 그리고 자신만이 아는 방식으로 직접 꼬았었기에
It is said that Quig's ropes, twisted by her powerful grip and her esoteric techniques,
세상의 그 어떤 매듭보다 질기고 억세다고 한다.
are tougher than any other rope in the world.
그리고 퀴케그는 자신을 호수 속에 혼자 두지 말라고 했다.
Quig told me not to leave her alone in the dark, cold lake.
송장인 채로 가라앉아서 고래와 인어들에게 뜯어먹히고 싶지는 않다고.
She didn't want the whales and mermaids to tear her apart and devour her when her corpse sinks deep into its waters.
그건 나도 마찬가지였다.
I agreed.
나만이 알고 있는 그 온 살갗의 상처들을, 파헤쳐진 흔적들을 고작 그것들이 파먹도록 두고 싶지는 않았다.
The wounds on her skin that only I knew of, the memories of her pain. I didn't want those monsters to heartlessly rip into them, to gorge themselves with her scarred flesh.
그래서 귀케그는 관을 만들었다.
So, Queequeg built herself a coffin.
밧줄을 있는 힘껏 묶어서 배가 아무리 휘청거려도 자기가 잠든 관만큼은 가라앉지 않도록.
Built heartily and fastened with ropes twisted and knotted with all her strength, so that her coffin would not sink, no matter how precariously the ship swayed.
나는 그 관에 걸린 끈을 손바닥이 찢어지도록 붙잡고 있었다.
My hands gripping onto that very same rope tied to the coffin were starting to peel and bleed.
소용돌이의 호수로부터 나를 지탱한 건 비어있는 친구의 관뿐이었다.
And my dearest friend's hollow coffin was the only thing keeping me afloat on that whirling lake.
아무도 없어요.
Henny, is there anyone out there?
비쿼드호의 파편만이 떠있는 호수에서 나는 목청껏 부르짖었다.
In that empty lake stranded amidst the Prequad's desolation, I called out from the top of my lungs.
아무나 대답해 주세요.
Please, anyone, say something, anything.
이 세상에서 나와 묶여있던 사람들이 빠짐없이 전부 사라져버렸다는 걸 알았을 때,
When I realized that everyone I ever had any ties to, in the blink of an eye, had been taken from this world.
혼자 헐떡이며 숨을 쉬고 있는 내 스스로가
My gasping, wheezing self, barely holding on to life, seemed
내 배에 올라타라. 그리고 호수 밑바닥 끝까지 가는 거다.
Come aboard my ship and sail with me to the cold abyss of the lake.
물을 가득 머금고 숨을 쉬고 있는 나조차도 에이헤브에게 벗어나지 못했는데,
not even I, drowning yet breathing, could escape Captain Ahab.
이 고요 속에서도 에이헤브의 호통은 내 목을 조이고 있는데,
Even in this deafening silence, Ahab's echoing bellows strangled me.
그들 역시 죽어서도 죽은 선장의 목소리를 듣고 있겠지.
Even in death, my mates remain trapped with the captain.
나는 앞으로 불행할 때나 행복할 때나
In joy and in sorrow, I'll never forget.
내게서부터 뜯겨나간 그 끈들을 기억하겠지.
The strands that were ripped away from me.
이 호수에 영영 갇혀버린 채로 평생을 잠겨 있겠지.
I'll be buried in this lake forever, to my last gasping breath.
차오르는 물을 벗어나려고 해도 호흡에 들어오는 건 고독뿐.
Try as I might to escape the rising waters, only loneliness fills my lungs.
그래서 항상 말했잖아. 너한테.
Always told you I did.
줄 꽉 잡지 않으면 가라앉는다고.
Rope. Grab tight or sink. You.
언제부터 있었던 거야?
How long have you been here?
난 여기에 있었어. 항상.
Always. Always been here. Ishmael's level rises to 40. Ishmael's uptime and thread spin tiers rise to tier 4. Ishmael gains compulsion at the start of every encounter. Yes. Nothing new there, other than the fact that we're in whale guts. The immediate sensation upon waking up was that it was moist and cold, yet oddly warm in some places. Where are we?
강 같은 게 기다랗게 뻗어 있네요. 거꾸로 올라가다 보면
There's this long river-like thing. If we follow it, maybe
뭔가 나오지 않을까요?
there'll be something at the end of it.
홍로 씨, 어떻게 매번 그렇게 침착할 수 있는 거예요?
Hong Lu, how can you always be so calm about everything?
그런가? 뭐 저 친구는 언제나 저런 느낌이었던 것 같은데.
Is he? I think that's just how that fella is with pretty much everything.
아니, 그런 뜻이 아니라.
No, that's not what I'm...
다들 여기가 어디라고 생각하는 거예요?
I mean, where do you guys think this is?
저흰 분명
We just...
알고 있다.
I am well aware.
그곳의 뱃속으로 들어왔지. 우리 스스로.
We rode into the maws of the beast, of our own volition. Not long ago.
우리가 황금 가지를 삼킨 그 고래의 속으로 들어가는 거죠.
I'm proposing that we enter the stomach of the whale that devoured the golden bow.
미쳤군. 아까 혼자서 제일 많이 처맞고 나더니 아예 단단히 돌아버렸어.
You're mad. All that thrashing's finally sent you off the deep end.
이건 내 목적일 뿐이에요. 겸사겸사 가는 길에 황금 가지가 있는 거고.
I'm just going there for my mission. The golden bow just happens to be in the way.
당신들 알아서 결정해요. 아, 관리자님의 결정이 제일 중요하겠죠.
I'll leave it up to you. Well, to the manager, since their decision matters the most.
아무튼 이 회사나 저나 목적을 달성하려는 방법을 모색할 뿐이에요.
This company, me, both just trying to find a way to reach our goals. That's all this is.
그리고 딱히 이렇다 할 방법도 없잖아요. 안 그래요?
Besides, does anyone have a better idea?
그것이 황금 가지를 삼켰고 그 황금 가지가 그 망할 창백한 고래의 백화 현상을 중화시켜 준다면.
If that thing swallowed the golden bow, and if the golden bow really counteracts that pallid whale's pallidification effects, then
우리가 그 안에 들어가더라도 침식을 당하지는 않을지도 모르잖아요.
we might just be able to survive without getting affected by it.
도박이야, 이스. 그건
That's a gamble, Ishii. There's just...
알아요. 그리고 그건 당신이 좋아하는 것 중 하나죠.
Yeah, you should know. It's one of your favorite things.
관리자님은 어떻게 생각하세요?
What do you think, manager? Ishmael looked at me with expectant eyes as though she knew I had no choice but to agree to this plan.
Her eyes were telling me. You came this far for the golden bow. You're not going to go back empty-handed now, are you?
6시간.
6 hours.
그 이후로도 어떤 움직임이 없다면 LCA 팀이 그 다음 임무를 넘겨받게 될 것이다.
If I don't hear anything from you in 6 hours, LCA will be taking over the rest of this mission.
LCA 팀이 넘겨받으면 그 이후로는
Okay, LCA takes over the mission, then what?
글쎄, 너희가 고래 뱃속에 갇혀서 나오지 못하고 있다는 불운한 소식을 듣게 되면
Well, if they hear the very unfortunate news that all of you decided to row into the whale's belly and got yourselves trapped.
그 거대하고도 창백한 고래를 통째로 터뜨릴 수 있는 방법에 대해서 이야기를 나누게 되겠지.
They'll be having a long internal discussion about how they could blow that pallid whale apart.
그 이후로는 굉장히 기나긴 전투가 이어질 거다.
Then, a very lengthy battle will ensue.
Okay, so let me get this straight. If we fail to find the golden bow stuck somewhere inside the whale's stomach in 6 hours, you won't hesitate blowing us to smithereens along with the whale. Did I get that right?
이 말은 굳이 전달드리지 않겠습니다.
I will not relay that comment. Faust, what do you think of our odds?
0은 아니지만 0에 수렴한다고 생각합니다.
Our odds are non-zero, but it may as well be nil.
적어도 지금 우리가 가지고 있는 변수들로는 그렇습니다.
At least with the currently known variables.
가능은 하다는 거죠.
So we have a chance. Do you have any other ideas that might get us the golden bow?
그 또한 지금으로서는 없습니다.
No, not at this moment.
하지만 낮은 확률일 것으로 생각했던 방식으로 작전을 극적으로 성공시켜왔던 것은 사실이라고 말씀드릴 수는 있겠네요.
What I can tell you, however, is that we have a history of dramatically completing missions with a veritably low chance of success. Okay then, let's get this done.
역시 계획이 없는 것이 더욱 계획적이라는 생각이 드네요.
Indeed, the lack of plan becomes the plan itself.
저만의 새롭게 세운 이론을 더욱 공고히 하게 되었습니다.
This solidifies the veracity of my new theory even further. Luckily, we didn't lose any sinners on the way down. All 12 of them made it down here, just as we planned. But... Guys, where's the boat? The boat was nowhere to be seen.
전원, 눈을 크게 뜨고 보트를 찾는데 전념하도록.
Men, we will commence a search. This boat must be found as soon as possible.
아니, 눈은 크게 뜨지 않아도 된다.
No, there is no need for a search.
오른쪽 400m쯤에 보인다. 그곳에 우리가 타고 온 배가
400 meters to your right. There is the boat.
나쁘지 않은 관찰력이군. 곧바로 이동하지.
Quite observant you are. Let's not waste any time and return to the boat.
마지막까지 들어야 한다. 배의 75% 이상이 파손된 채로 흩어져 바닥에 처박혀 있다.
Allow me to finish. There is the boat in a ditch. 75% of its hull integrity has been breached, and its remains are scattered on the ground.
와, 그렇다면 이건 배에서부터 나온 조각인가 보네요.
Wow, so this was a piece of our boat, huh?
다회 사용을 고려해서 만든 배였는데 말이죠.
That vessel was designed to be used more than 3 times. Hong Lu was pointing at the pitiful sight of an absolutely busted-looking piece of the propeller. well, to be exact, busted pieces of the propeller and what appeared to once have been our boat's engine. Something comes to a sputtering halt amidst the wreckage.
기어이 숨을 거두는가.
Thus it rests here forevermore.
이 장면을 봤다면 미카 양하고 레인 군이 크게 상심했을 것이요.
This would have been quite the painful sight for Mika and Rain.
This is a pretty painful sight for us, too.
저희 이제 어떻게 해야?
So what do we?
관리자님, 여전히 황금가지의 위치는 느껴지시죠?
Manager, you can still sense the golden bow, right? Yeah, unlike at the Lobotomy Core branch, I can definitely feel that it's somewhere in here, but it's also pretty far away, so I can't tell where it exactly...
시계를 돌릴 준비는 되어 있으시고요.
Great. Are you ready to turn the clock? What's that about turning the clock? Oh! The whale's pallor had taken over their bodies and minds. Of course, it only makes sense that this place is crawling with mermaids. Yeah, let's bounce before more of those mermaids show up. That's too much of a deep Roland, I think.
이미 고래 뱃속에 갇혀 있는데 벗어날 곳이 있기는 할까요?
Bounce where? We're trapped inside a whale.
우리도 곧 저런 꼴이 되는 건 아니야? 먹힌 거잖아, 우리.
Are we gonna end up looking like them too? You know, we've been devoured.
지금 당장은 단테 씨의 머리에 있는 황금가지의 덕으로 수감자분들의 백화 현상은 막을 수 있을 겁니다.
The golden bow inside Dante's head is likely counteracting the pallidification effects on the sinners' bodies.
하지만 언제까지 지속될 수 있을지는 알 수 없겠죠.
But there is no guarantee that this defensive effect would last forever.
환경이 변해버렸으니까요.
We must take into account that we are in an unknown environment. In other words, spending too long here could turn us into mermaids, just like them. I wasn't sure if I could bring back a sinner that's turned into a mermaid. But where do we even go? I don't have even the slightest idea as to where we might be.
이상하네요. 고래라는 건 뱃속에서도 비가 내리는 걸까요?
Oh boy. Weird. I didn't know it could rain inside a whale's belly. I was still unsure where to go, so much so that I was starting to feel completely lost when Hong Lu suddenly blurted something about rain. What are you talking about?
아, 방금 제 어깨로 물이 몇 방울 떨어졌거든요.
Oh, it's just that I felt a few droplets of water on my shoulder.
야, 잠깐만.
Wait.
우리는 이거한테 먹혔고 곧바로 떨어져서 꼬라박은 곳이 여기였지?
So, this is the first place we landed on after the whale swallowed us whole, isn't it? Right.
내가 가끔 당연한 게 헷갈려서 그러는데.
Sorry, I sometimes need someone to confirm my common senses.
보통 음식을 먹으면 제일 먼저 어디에 도착하냐?
When you eat something, where does it usually land first?
그거야 당연히 위장이지. 아까부터 배고프다고 울고 있는 불쌍한 내 위장.
Oh, I see what he's getting at. Uh-oh. My stomach, of course. My poor, starving stomach.
히스클리프 씨의 질문에 대한 의도가 파악되었습니다.
I see your point, Heathcliff.
위장에선 효율적으로 음식물을 소화하기 위하여 끊임없이 위산이 분비되죠.
The stomach constantly secretes acid in order to digest the food effectively.
학교에서 배웠던 것 같아요. 무슨 강한 산이라고.
Yeah, I think I learned about it in school. It's usually some kind of powerful acid
닿는 것들을 분해하는
that dissolves everything it touches.
아, 그래서 물이 떨어진 위치에 옷이 녹아내렸던 거군요. 따끔하기도 하고요.
So that's why my clothes melted where the water touched. Feels a bit prickly, too. I stared at Honglu's shoulder. Something had burrowed a hole there, and the surrounding skin was sizzling and melting away.
우리 도착하자마자 흐물흐물해지는 것이요.
Are we fated to become porridge so soon after our arrival?
하나 긍정적인 발견을 보고드리자면 일반적인 생물체의 생체 기관과 어느 정도 비슷한 메커니즘을 띠고 있는 것 같군요.
There is one positive discovery, however. This creature appears to share similar biological mechanisms and shapes as an ordinary organic life form. Everyone, we gotta run! I don't care how many pieces of you there are left, just make sure that there's something left for me to bring back. And so we ran, trying to weave our way between the pouring stomach acid, without even knowing where we were supposed to go.
이야, 이거 신기한 광경인걸.
Wow, man. What a funny sight, huh?
신기라기보단 수상한데요?
Funny? That's more suspicious than funny.
너무 크게 감탄을 하시는 바람에 전부 우리를 보게 되었습니다.
You're too loud. Great, now we caught their attention. Eh? Who's there?
당신들 말이야. 말을 하잖아.
Hey, I heard you guys talking down there.
인어가 말을 하오.
Those mermaids speak.
우리는 인어가 아니야. 이렇게 말 잘하는 인어 본 적이 있어?
We're not mermaids. Ever seen a mermaid this chatty?
이들은 백화 현상이 일부만 진행되었다.
Their palidification effects have only partially progressed.
그럼 뭐야? 반인 반어?
So what does that make them? Half human, half fish?
시간이 없으니까 간단하게만 말할게.
Well, we don't got much time, so I'll make it short.
여기는 10분에 한 번씩 왕성하게 산을 뽑아내는 곳이야.
This zone floods with acid every 10 minutes or so.
너희 몸이 강철로 이루어졌다면 말리지 않겠지만
Unless you guys are all made of steel.
선택을 하는 게 좋을 거야. 우리가 내린 줄을 잡고 이곳을 빠져나갈지.
You better decide fast. Either take the rope we're about to lower down, or
아니면 여기서 물컹거리는 영양소가 되어서 이놈이랑 한 몸이 될지.
become sludgy nutrient for the whale and be one with it forever and ever.
뭐, 우린 너희들이 녹으면 무기만 건져 올라가도 되니까.
Well, even if you all were to turn into sludge, we can still salvage your weapons. We don't got nothing to lose.
몇 명은 이미 조금 녹아버렸군.
Some of them are already starting to melt. Do we have to have a choice?
줄 내려, 당장!
The rope! Now! They muttered something amongst themselves, as though they found something funny about this situation, and tossed an odd-looking rope in our direction.
이봐줘. 느낌이 영 이상한데?
This rope feels funny.
허파에서 뽑아온 모세의 혈관 다발이야. 산에도 1시간 이상은 버틸 수 있어.
That rope right. There's made of capillary we pulled straight from its lungs. It'll last more than an hour, even in its stomach acid.
그래, 왜 그런 걸 물어봐서 기분 나빠.
Craig, why'd you even ask that? I hate it. With Radya and her grumblings in tow, we struggled up the bundle of capillary rope. Whew! I don't know who you guys are, but thanks.
야, 이번 낚시는 대성공이네. 돌아가면 금화 3개는 포상으로 받겠는걸?
Heck yeah, what a catch! We'll net us upwards of 3 gold coins for this.
이 째깍거리는 녀석은 더 쳐줄 것 같은데.
I think this tick-tocking friend might be worth more than that.
낚시? 우리를 낚았다는 말인가?
A catch? You think you fished us up?
우린 정기적으로 이곳에 들리거든.
We come here every once in a while to check if anyone's washed up. Yeah.
하지만 절반은 인어가 되기 직전에 불쌍한 표류자들이지. 몇 분 후면 바로 우리를 죽이려고 들었어. 그리고 나머지 절반은 그냥 인어들.
But most of them poor castaways are already full mermaids by the time we find them in a matter of minutes. They're all rearing to kill us, and the rest are just your everyday mermaids.
저희가 특별한 경우였군요.
So this is a special occasion then.
말도 하고 인어가 되어가고 있지 않은 선원들을 만난 건 아마 처음이야.
This is probably the first time ever that we found sailors that could not only talk, but also weren't halfway turned into mermaids.
So why do you guys come here every once in a while then?
이 시계머리 선원은 계속 째깍거리기만 하네. 뭐라고 말이라도 하는 거야. 기계는 아닐 테고.
The clock friend here keeps tick-tocking. Are they saying something? Doubt they're a full-on robot.
우리가 이곳에 있을 동안 유행이 많이 바뀌었나 봐. 머리를 의체로 바꿔도 보통 말은 할 수 있지 않나?
Don't most people prefer to keep the ability to speak even when replacing their bodies with prosthetics? Guess the trends have really changed since we got here.
그러니까 저자는 사정이 있어서 정상적으로 소통을 못 하고 있는 거야.
So that buddy there. Well, it's a long story, but yeah, they can't communicate normally.
그래. 사정이라는 건 각자 있는 거니까.
All good. Everyone's got a story they don't want to tell.
우리 선원들도 마찬가지야. 말하는 건 언제나 힘겹지.
We can sympathize a little. Talking ain't the easiest thing to do.
우리를 만난 걸 다행으로 여기는 게 좋을 거다, 자샤.
Consider yourselves lucked out, fellas. You guys ran into us of all things.
우리는 곧 이곳을 나갈 거니까.
because we'll be getting out of here real soon. We followed their confident guiding steps, but there was no way to look at this situation without a bit of suspicion. Where do you think they're taking us? What if they're leading us into a trap?
공격을 하려고 했다면 저희가 절벽에 올라올 때 했을 거예요. 기습에 제일 취약했을 때이니까.
If they were trying to attack us, they would have done so when we were almost at the top of the cliff. We were completely vulnerable to attacks there.
그리고
And Ishmael opened her mouth as though she was about to say something, then stopped herself before turning around. It looked like she hadn't finished processing her thoughts yet.
저 작살 분명 본 적 있어.
I'm sure I've seen that harpoon before somewhere.
그런데 너희는 어느 배 출신이라고 했지?
So what ship are you guys from again?
그게 림버스 호라고. 아마 잘 모를 거야.
It's called the Limbus. You probably haven't heard of it. Yeah.
인어도 아니면서 왜 그렇게 어물거리지? 선장의 이름을 대라. 유사 출신이면 대충이나마 알 수 있을지도 모르니까.
Well, talk straight, man. It's not like you're a mermaid. Who's your captain? If they're from U-Corp, their name might just ring a bell.
우리 선장 누구지?
Who's our captain again? I don't know, guys. I've never taken the helm. Not sure if I can call myself a captain here.
키라. 운전대를 잡는 자라면
The helm? Forsooth. If this be all about who handles the wheel...
나 알고 있어. 카론군이 선장님이요.
I am quite well aware of our captain. Charon is our captain indeed.
역시 처음 들어보는군. 시대가 많이 지났던 모양이야.
Nope. Never heard of them. I guess it's really been a while then.
He scratched his head. Captain Charon, Charon really didn't ring a bell.
당신들 이곳에 갇힌 지 어느 정도가 지났죠?
You. How long has it been since you were trapped in here?
8달.
8 months!
아니 멍청아 3년이야. 마지막으로 생게 644일째였으니까.
No, dumb... This is our 3rd year. Our last count was at 644 days. So...
모르겠다. 날짜를 세는 건 관뒀어. 햇빛도 들지 않아서 시간 개념도 없어졌으니까.
I don't know, lady. I quit counting the days a while ago. I've completely lost track of time since we got stuck deep inside where the sun don't shine.
그렇군요.
I see.
제가 알기론 저런 식으로 작살의 매듭을 묶는 사람은 하나밖에 없어서.
I know only one person who ties a knot to their harpoon like that.
이거 절박 매듭이라는 거야. 우리 마을에서도 노련한 몇 명만 묶을 수 있지.
Oh, this? It's called the Desper Head's Knot. Even in our town, only the experienced few knows how to tie it.
그럼 이곳에 있다는 거잖아.
So, they're here.
나 당신의 이름 알 것 같아.
I think I know you. Ishmael comes to a sudden stop. So do our guides. Not because of what she said.
자, 피쿼드 타운에 온 걸 환영한다.
Here we are. Welcome to Prequad Town.
선장님, 저희가 왔습니다. 어떤 걸 건져 올렸는지 보세요.
We're back, Captain. Look what we fished up. Captain?
역시 자네의 수색 솜씨만큼은 나무랄 데 없이 훌륭하군, 스타버.
Quite the catch indeed. You certainly are an excellent scout, Starbuck. A wiry old woman approached us, her harsh voice tickling our ears.
금화 2개는 자네 것이야. 1개는 이 쌍둥이 손원들에게 넘기자고.
2 gold coins for you, lad. And here's 1 for the twins.
감사합니다, 선장님.
Thank you, Captain.
이 피쿼드 타운에 새로운 주민들이 온 건 무척이나 오랜만이군.
It has been a long, long while since our Prequad town gained new villagers.
주민?
But
손님이 아니고?
villagers? Not guests?
발을 들인 순간부터 종속되는 게 당연하다 생각하는 사람의 발언이군.
That woman seems to think us already bound to this village.
역시
I knew it.
나는 이 불쌍한 선원들을 보살피며 이 마을을 만들고 머지않아 이들을 이끌고 마지막 항해를 나갈 선장.
Welcome. I have built this village and watched over these poor, wretched souls. Soon I shall set sail on the final voyage with my crew.
에이헤브다.
I am Captain Ahab. Ishmael.
이 순간을 얼마나 원하고 원했는지 몰랐을 거고 앞으로도 영영 모르겠지.
You have no idea how I've waited, how I've longed for this moment. You won't ever know.
알 새도 없이 뒤져버릴 테니까.
Because I'll gut you like a fish before you even have the chance to find out. Muttering, Ishmael charged at Ahab.
오, 열렬한 환영이군, 이스마일.
What a way to greet your captain, Ishmael. The captain remained serene, even as Ishmael suddenly charged at her.
이스마엘이라고? 그러고 보니
Ishmael? Wait. Now that you mention it.
등에도 모르는 것들이군. 선장님을 공격하다니.
You thankless! You dare attack our captain?
본때를 보여주겠다.
We'll show you what we're made of.
다시 그 위산에 던져놓겠다.
We'll toss you back into that river of acid.
변변찮은 선원들만 남았나 봐.
Not a lot of good men left, Ahab. Ishmael quickly leaped to the side, evading a harpoon that struck the spot that she was just standing on.
또 누가?
Who's this now?
내 배 선원들은 누구보다 충성스럽지.
My crew is nothing if not loyal. More so than anyone in the world. Wow, 2 fights, and she's gone from the voice that I had to Mike Wazowski. Always watching. I guess we're just doing a mixture of that now, huh?
그 중에서도 여기 있는 선원은 세상에서 가장 훌륭한 작살잡이다.
And this one here is second to none when it comes to harpooneering.
그러니까 이곳에서 나를 공격한다는 건 그저 자살 행위 아니겠나?
So, do you still see that to attack me here is to court death? A sailor wearing an odd-looking mask joined the fray.
진짜 저 작살 크기 좀 봐.
Blimey, look at the size of that harpoon.
제대로 꿰뚫는다면
추스를 만한 뼈도 없겠군. 저자, 전사다.
A direct hit from that will turn your bones to dust. That one's a real warrior.
아니 그딴 말 하면서 웃지 좀 말라고. 소름 끼치네.
Ah! Could you stop being so bloody creepy for 1 second? Oh, giving me the shivers out of nowhere. What you got? Starting hunt. Combat starts. Summon 4 allies next turn. Apply prey mark next turn. All pre-quad crew target this unit. Take 50% more damage from the pre-quad crew. Ugh. Okay, harpooning. Quite simple. Piercing harpoon. On hit, inflict 3 offense level down, inflict 2 bind, and inflict 4 bleed. Right. Gain offense level and defense level by the number of surviving allies, not including this unit. If not, at negative 45 SP, heal number of surviving allies times 5 SP. If at negative 45, recover from panic at turn start and reset SP to 0. Interesting, so you can't be staggered at all. Every time a pre-quad town faction ally is defeated, lose 1 poise count and 10 SP. The lower this unit's HP gets, the more damage this unit's skills deal. Okay, and your panic type cannot be changed. Right. I feel like that was added after some updates. Okay, so here's something that we have to worry about right now. We're all a little bit injured from the previous fights. So, we're gonna open up with a big heal. Then, we're gonna mark you. Yeah, and we're gonna call it there. So, let's have Ego. We want that to land. We want this one to land. We're favored, which is good. Now, if we did that and this, and this gives us a magic bullet, let's go dominating. All right, do what you can.
탈출 개체 확인.
기록에 따라 당신을 반드시 집행하겠습니다.
Okay, pretty good amount of healing for us. Quite nice. Hexnail is gonna get through, and we're going to apply the curse.
가슴 가장 깊은 곳까지
Yum.
박히도록.
Yum yum yum.
방금 공격은 좋았어. 이대로만 계속해보면 좋을 텐데.
자, 맞서보죠.
He might have allies now, but it rarely matters.
당신의 판단을 따를게요.
Well, you know what? It matters if we don't kill any, though. That one does matter. Oh, yeah. We are so not dealing enough damage. Oh, yeah. This is about to suck.
모든 걸 걷어들일 순 없었어.
Well, we killed one.
효율적인 대처로 개체를 꿰뚫었습니다. 참고로 기계는 입에 발린 말 따위 쉽게 하지 않아요.
Unused staggered at turn end if you do not have poise. Right. Okay. Let's think carefully about this. I'm going to win some clashes. How about that? Dominating. Dominating. Then let's get some more curse. We're favored. I think that's basically as good as we're gonna get. 25% chance to corrode, but honestly, I'm just gonna go for it. Then, oh, we're hopeless there. Hopeless here. Alright. Let's just see what we can do. I think he's gonna crit us, and it's gonna be painful.
완벽한 한 발을 위해.
그래도 언제나 추월할 수는 없으니까.
와, 방금 너무 근사한 일격이었는데? 관리자님에게 우수한 평가를 받을 수 있겠어.
이럴 때까지 끈적거려.
Well, Ishmael died. I don't know if she revives.
승리를 위해서라면.
Is this basically over? Huh. If she doesn't revive, then this whole thing is basically over, right? Huh. Well, that really sucks. I guess we just keep going and hope that she revives? Kind of surprised she doesn't have her passive where she can't die, but, hey, what are you gonna do? Okay. Kill him. Then, we just need to do big damage. Let's get some bullets. Yeah, that's all we can do. Alright.
낙인을 새겨드리죠.
효과적이네요. 이 방식을 기억하는 게 좋겠어요.
와, 성공했어. 보여? 개체가 더 이상 움직이지 않네. 이대로 남은 대상들도 전부 움직일 수 없게 만들어보자.
잘근잘근 씹어버리겠네.
We're actually close to getting another stagger. Now, he will recover from it, though, I believe. Or she. I mean, depending on where the story goes, it could be the coffin as well, but we'll see. I have a feeling that's not the one this is. Okay. Bullet.
제압 개체가 비틀거리는 게 보이네.
Okay.
이대로 영영 움직이지 못하게 만들어보자.
Oh boy. Oh yeah. This is going to hurt. We didn't take any damage. Not that it matters, apparently. Maybe. Maybe we should just go all in. Nah. That's a bad idea. Bad idea. You know what? Funny in theory, bad idea. We have to clash. We're gonna take double damage, so bye-bye, Radya. Oh. Man, we don't have a lot of good options right now, do we? Man, really bad options. Holy. Is this a world where we're just gonna have to soak damage? I honestly think it is. Yeah, honestly, I don't think we have much other option. We're just gonna have to soak a lot of damage here, so let's try and get some healing as well. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Guarantee the kill on this guy. Go.
로자, 교전 시작.
나무와 함께 베어 넘겨드리죠.
모든 결과들은 파우스트가 알아요.
잘근.
승리를 위해서라면.
오, 이런.
Okay, we have multiple enemies down.
아무튼 놀라운
What is
판단이네.
cast?
모든 걸 걷어들일 순 없었어.
A little bit of bleed. Okay. Oh, And then we take a crit at the very
아까의
end.
공격으로 인해서 대상에게 많은 피해를 입혔어.
Pallid Panic. Gain 2 bind at turn end. Every coin this unit flips lands on tails. Right. Okay, so you have 2 counter dice. Gain 3 poise. For this turn, gain final power equal to poise potency on self, which is 0? Huh. That works for me. Okay, let's think. So, you know what? We're dominating right here. Honestly, let's just go for it. We're dominating right here, and then let's just do big damage behind it. Actually, we took that extra hit, so unfortunately that's not going to do anything. Go. Okay, so much for dominating, huh?
이래선 걱정만 끼치게 되는 꼴인데.
Second counter does 11 damage, which does hurt, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, a little bit of paralyze. We're close. We're very close. More damage on crit. And he's already doing a lot more damage. Ooh, cutthroat. That's going to hit multiple people. You know what? We have to stop that. I'm going to go for Ramshank. We're favored. We have a higher chance to land heads than he does. Actually. Hit that. The bullet. Okay, well, he hit heads twice before we landed it once. That's very unfortunate, because now we're probably going to die. Though the damage does help.
그럼 이번 전투도 쉽게 갈 수 있을 거야.
내게 지울 수 없는 낙인이라면 차라리 이 슬픔과 함께 일어서겠어.
Okay. You know what? Hang on. The branch. Then, I think now's the time just to use all of our stuff. Let's do Odyssey out of purpose. Okay. Alright, well, with 3 egos, this is bound to be enough, right?
완벽한 한 발을 위해.
나의 손으로 잘라낼 수 있다면
달려라 루신한테! 정의는 승리한다!
All of you, strong.
그리고 아니야, 뱃사람.
But no sailors.
왜 말 띄엄띄엄 거슬리는군.
Why talk so slow? Irritating.
단축할 것도 아니라면 그저 지루한 시간 느리기일 뿐이다.
If you're not abbreviating with acronyms, then all you're doing is wasting time.
Ishmael's mace nicked the harpooner's mask. She came dangerously close to smashing their skull.
순순히 비켰어야지. 당신 머리통이 날아가게 생겼잖아.
Should have gotten out of my way when I gave you the chance. Now I'm going to have to bash your face in.
그리고 너는 맞아, 뱃사람.
But you are sailor.
그래.
Right.
우린 같은 뱃사람이니까.
We both are.
키케그!
In a sudden explosive burst of energy, Ishmael bolted forth like a cannonball toward Queequeg before holding her in a tight embrace.
와우, 방금까지 머리통을 어쩌고 하지 않았어?
Who? Wasn't she saying something about bashing her face in just moments ago?
벗을 만난다는 건 그런 것 아니겠어.
This embrace is what one does when meeting an old fellow.
그렇게라도 안아버리지 않으면 금방이라도 어딘가로 날아갈 것 같지.
You fear they may flutter away unless you hold them tightly so.
머리색 못 잊어.
Your hair color. Can't forget.
이름 알아.
Your name. I know.
하지만 안 되는 행동이야. 선장에게 공격.
But no attacking Captain.
왜? 나는
Why? I'm just...
공격도 하면 나도 공격해.
You attack Captain again. I attack you.
그땐 죽어. 죽이거나 둘 중에 하나는.
Then kill or be killed. One of us.
자, 어쩔 건가? 여기 있는 스타벅이 너그러운 마음씨로 너희들을 구조했고 내 마을에 초대까지 해주었지만.
Well, now, whatever shall you do? Starstruck here has, out of the kindness of his heart, rescued you from the jaws of death, invited you to my village.
너희는 그 은혜를 개박살내고 나를 공격하려고 했지.
Yet you've elected to attack me, as if to spit on that very kindness.
만약 일반적인 항해였다면 그대로 줄에 매달아 호수에 던져 넣고 배 밑바닥을 훑게 만들었을 텐데.
Were we sailing the Great Lake, I would have had all of you tied and thrown overboard to be crushed underneath the keel of our ship, your lungs bloating with the lake's waters. There were at least 40 people living in Prequad Town, and that was a conservative estimate. From their vicious glares, I could tell that every single one of them was a fiercely loyal follower of Ahab. Here we were, in this unfamiliar environment, trapped and lost. Things aren't looking so good. A single word from Ahab and they'll all be upon us. If we were to retreat, behind us is the river of stomach acid. Ahead of us is an unknown territory.
너무 그렇게 겁먹은 표정으로 보지 말도록.
Lads, lasses, cast fear from your hearts.
다행이지. 왜냐하면 나는
It is lucky for you that
너그러운 마음씨를 지닌 선장이니까. 방금까지의 결례는 넘어가 주지.
I am nothing if not merciful. I shall forgive your transgressions thus far.
나는 너희에게 물어볼 것이 있고 너희 또한 마찬가지겠지?
I have questions I would like to ask you, and I am certain that you have a few for me as well.
그러니 나와 대화를 나누려는 용의가 있다면 내 선장실로 들어오도록.
If you are willing to talk, then enter the captain's quarters.
어디까지나 평화롭게 말이야.
In peace, mind. Ahab casually turned around and marched into one of the buildings. She carried herself with utmost confidence. It was almost like she knew that we would follow, that we had no choice but to follow.
야, 저 뒤에 있던 놈들 방금까지 눈을 보라리다가 아무 일도 없었다는 듯이 사라져버렸는데?
Boy, them blokes that were glaring at us, they're gone, like nothing happened.
선장, 용서했어. 그렇다면 다들 용서해. 나도.
Captain forgave. Then everyone else also forgives. I forgive, too.
방금까지 죽자 살자 덤벼든 놈을 두고 저런 식으로 등을 돌리는가?
Huh. To turn her back on someone who was charging at her with murderous intent just moments ago. It's...
그래, 자신이 있다는 거겠지.
Yes, she is confident.
얼마든지 기습을 당해도 우리들을 막아낼 선원들이 있다는 것. 그리고 우리가 저자를 공격해서 얻는 이득보다 손실이 많다는 것.
Confident that she's got the numerical advantage, even if we were to press the offensive. Confident that we know there's more for us to lose by attacking her than by going along with her.
방금 조형된 그 상황 하나만으로 자신이 절대적인 존재라는 걸 공표한 셈이군.
With what just happened, she's made it clear as that day. At least, while we're in here, she has the absolute control of the situation.
평화롭게 대화라니 가당치도 않아.
Talk with her in peace? Nonsense.
It's not like we have a way out of here. Ishmael's gaze followed Queequeg, who walked wordlessly behind the captain.
들어가죠.
Let's go.
저 개자식이 어떤 말을 짓거릴지 들어보자고요.
Let's listen to what that's got to say.
어디로도 도망은 못 칠 테니까.
There's nowhere to run after all.
저 새끼는 우리는.
For her or for us.
Reverse Knot. When winning a clash using a Gloom Affinity skill, one ally with the lowest SP heals 5 SP. Should we I don't know if everyone revives. Even though we have 2 story things in front of us, honestly, I feel like maybe we should just reload from the checkpoint and do it again. Because if we have to go through the rest of this place without all of our people, and by the way, they're some of our strongest, you know, I'd rather not do that. You know what? I'm gonna look it up, and if the answer is yeah, they're dead, then we'll do it again.
그런데 저 게시판에 적혀 있는 건 뭐야?
So what's that on the board over there?
선원마다 배당되는 금화야.
The number of gold coins assigned to each crewman and woman.
쓸만한 재료들을 건져 올리거나 인어들을 사냥하는 데 성공하면 받을 수 있지.
We could collect them by fishing up useful stuff, or by hunting mermaids.
금화는 누가 주는 거지?
And who's the one paying you?
그거야. 당연히 선장님이지.
The captain. Obviously.
고래 뱃속에서 경제 활동이라도 있다는 것인가?
Are you saying that there is economic activity within the whale's stomach?
이곳에서는 금화를 얻을 수도 가질 필요도 없을 텐데.
What need of gold coins could you have in here, let alone the means of procuring them?
말했잖아. 우리는 곧 밖에 나간다니까.
Told ya. We'll be out of here in just a little bit.
그리고 나는 벌써 63개의 금화를 받을 수 있어.
And once we're off this whale, I'll get paid 63 gold coins.
이 정도라면 도시로 나가서 쓸만한 배를 살 수 있을지도 모르지. 그 사이에 물가가 변한 게 아니라면.
With that much dough, I just might be able to snag myself a halfway decent ship. Unless the inflation's gone nuts, that is.
아이봐. 혹시 청새치 항구선을 들린 거라면 말해줘. 가오리 철판 해물집은 아직 건재한가?
Oh By the way, ever been to the Marlin port ship lately? Any chance you saw the Stingray flat top grill place? I wonder if it's still open.
오, 맛있어 보이는 이름인걸? 위치가 어딘데?
Oh, that sounds delish. Where is it? Looks like Ahab's giving out gold coins to her crew for their labor. Promise of a reward for services rendered. I'm sure that's a strong motivator.
이스마엘, 아까는 정말 놀랐어.
Hey, Ishmael, you really caught me off guard earlier.
너를 이곳에서 만날 거라고는 생각도 못해서 말이야.
Seriously, I didn't think I'd find you here, of all places.
밖에 나가면 술통 내기라도 하는 건 어때? 어? 예전처럼 말이야.
When we're out of here, we should go crash at a bar and drink rum straight from the barrel. We'll make it a competition, just like the good old days.
그래. 다른 선원들이랑 인사는 나눴어?
Right, so did you get a chance to say hello to everyone? A little chat?
그리고 또 머리는 왜 또 그렇게 길게 기른 거야? 거치적거린다더니.
And oh man, you sure did grow your hair out. Whatever happened to long hair is annoying.
질문이 많네요.
That's a lot of questions at once.
다들 저랑 이야기도 나누고 싶어 하지 않던데요. 적개심이 가득한 표정이던데.
I don't think any of them want to chat with me. I can tell from the looks they're giving me.
이곳에선 다른 배에서 온 주민들도 간간히 있었지만
Sometimes people from other ships would join us in the village.
모두 하루를 채 못 넘겼어. 여태까지 버틴 건 우리 말곤 없지.
None of them lasted more than a day. We're the only ones who's made it this long.
선장님이 해결책을 알려주셨거든.
And it's all thanks to a solution our captain came up with.
해결책?
A solution?
몸과 머릿속이 하얗게 되지 않을 수 있는 유일한 방법.
A way to stop our bodies and minds from turning pallid.
What is it?
보다시피 선장님만 아니었다면 우리는 이곳에서 인어로 변했을 거야. 마을에는 아무도 안 남아 있었겠지.
As you can see, without our captain, we would have been long turned into mermaids. Without the captain, this village wouldn't exist.
By the way, sorry, I'm like taking a minute in between voice lines. I'm like trying to clear my throat, and then it's really annoying.
그러니까
For me.
선장님을 적대하는 자는 공동의 적이 되는 거야.
So anyone that dares antagonize the captain is our enemy.
선장님과 뜻을 같이 하지 않는 것은 우리 모두를 죽이는 거랑 다를 바 없으니까.
Because to stand against the captain is to stand against our very survival.
이런 사람이었나요? 스타벅.
You've changed, Starbuck.
꽤 선장에게 반목하던 모습으로 기억하고 있었는데.
I remember you butting heads with the captain all the time.
그래?
Did I?
애초부터 선원들을 죽을 운명으로 이끌고 간 게 누군데?
Don't forget who trapped all of you here in the first place. Led us to our deaths.
Ishmael coldly walks past Starbuck before entering the office. I thought he was an old mate of yours.
스타벅, 피커드 호의 1등 항해사.
Well, see, I'm pretty sure all of them have like some kind of, I'm not gonna say mind control, but something along that nature of like control.
Starbuck, first mate of the Prequad.
모두에게 좋은 사람이 되고 싶어 했죠. 동시에 선장과 가장 가까운 선원이었고요.
He wanted to be a good person to everyone, and he was the closest of the crew to the captain's ear.
가까운 만큼 의견 다툼도 많았지만 뭐 상관없었죠.
Which meant that they also squabbled pretty often, but it didn't matter in the end.
에이헤브는 평등하다고 말할 정도로 모두에게 관심이 없었으니.
Ahab was equally indifferent to everyone anyway.
아, 누추한 자리를 내주는 건 이해를 해주도록.
Please, excuse the state of my office.
롬주라도 있으면 금상첨화였을 테지. 하지만 아무리 기다려도 술병만큼은 흘러들어오지 않더군.
A bottle of rum, and this would have gone down much smoother. Yet after all the time we've spent stuck in here, I've not seen a single bottle of it float its way in.
협상은 제가 주도해 보도록 하겠습니다, 관리자님.
Executive Manager, allow me to take charge of this negotiation.
이스마일, 저자는 이성적인 판단이 힘들 것 같고 관리자님은 째깍거리는 소리만 들리니.
Ishmael cannot be trusted to make a rational decision, and you, Executive Manager, cannot properly communicate with this woman. She will only hear your ticking sounds. Sure.
에이헤브 선장이라 했나? 우리는
Captain Ahab, is it? We...
감히 맞춰볼까? 너희는 이 창백한 고래로부터 삼켜진 무언가를 찾으러 자진해서 들어왔고.
Allow me to hazard a guess. You rode in here voluntarily in search of something that the pallid whale devoured.
그렇다는 건 너희 역시도 인어가 될 수 있지 않는 다른 방법을 찾은 거고.
This means that you and your present company have also found a way to keep yourselves from turning into mermaids.
뭐 여기까지 온 이상 굳이 숨길 필요는 없겠지.
Well, I don't suppose there's any point in hiding it when we've already come this far.
우리는 어떤 물건을 찾고 있어. 어떻게 생겼냐면 말이오.
We are in search of a certain object. Its appearance is as thus. Dawn started explaining, looking around excitedly as though she expected the captain to suddenly produce the golden bow from her pockets.
아 잠깐 그렇게 함부로 알려줘도 되는 거야? 좀 더 상의한 후에.
Wait, are we really just gonna tell her everything? Why don't we talk about this between us first and...
알고 있다. 황금색으로 빛나는 막대기 같은 것을 찾고 있겠지.
I know what you seek. A golden stick of sorts, I presume.
내가 틀렸나?
Am I wrong?
뭐?
What? Oh, you know what? I bet you it's in her spear. It just now dawned on me that her spear is kind of glowing gold. Ah, I think that's actually stopping it too. We couldn't even deny her accusation thanks to Gregor's extremely telling reaction.
난 그게 어디에 있는지 알고 있다.
I think it's right here.
I know where to find it.
심지어 너희를 그곳으로 데려다 줄 수도 있지.
I can even bring you to it.
허풍뿐인 말일 수도 있겠지.
How do we know that you aren't bluffing?
맞아요. 어쩌면 저희끼리 이야기한 걸 엿들었을 수도 있고요.
Yeah. what if you just overheard while we were talking?
내가 보았다는 증거를 말해주지. 그 가지에서는 멀리서부터 황금빛을 발산한다. 눈부시면서도 눈을 멀지 않게 할 정도로 따뜻한 느낌이지.
I shall prove it to you then. From that branch emanates a very far-reaching golden light. Its glow is warm and bright, yet not bright enough to be blinding.
황금 가지를 알고 있다는 것은 사실인 듯하군요.
It appears that she at least knows of a golden bow.
관련되지 않은 사람이 알 수 있는 정보의 한계를 넘었습니다.
What she has just told us is more than what an unrelated individual should be able to know.
그래 보아야 위치는 가르쳐주지 않을 심산이겠지만.
Still, I don't believe that she's really about to tell us where the bow is.
내가 왜 숨길 거로 생각하지? 난 감출게. 아무것도 없어.
You presume that I would not part with this information? I have nothing to hide. Ahab slammed the desk and leaned aggressively towards us. She wore a knowing grin, as though she knew exactly what we wanted and what we were about to say to get it.
우리 확실하게 하지. 오히려 감추려고 하는 건 자네들이지 않나?
Let us speak plainly here. I have not to hide from you. In fact, I dare say that it is you who are withholding things from me.
그 막대의 이름이 황금가지라고 했던가. 그렇다면 황금가지라는 건 이 빌어먹을 고래의 가장 중심에 있다.
By the way, I'm pretty sure she's like mapping out how to kill the whale, like lungs. Over here, she's got like diagrams, seemingly a heart with a harpoon. Over here, a heart with a harpoon. I don't know what this is, probably like a brain or something. But yeah, she's like working out how to kill it from the inside. You called that stick the golden bow, did you? Well then, that golden bow is at the dead center of this accursed whale.
중심이라?
At the dead center?
고동 소리가 들리는 곳. 이것이 살아 움직이게 만드는 근원.
The epicenter of this deep, resonant thumping. The spring of life that fuels this beast.
심장. 악을 뿜어내는 지독한 심장.
The heart. The heart that seeps with all that is evil in this world.
하지만 다행으로 여기시게.
But you are in luck.
마침 우리 피코드호의 목적지 또한 같으며 고래를 잡으러 떠나는 출항까지 얼마 남지 않은 상태였으니.
It just so happens to be the Prequad has set course for that very same destination, and we plan to set sail in the very near future.
심장을 터뜨리는 것만이 이곳을 나갈 수 있는 유일한 방법이기 때문이거든.
Because the only way out of the whale is by destroying its heart.
신기하네요. 우연의 일치일까요?
That's interesting. I wonder if this is just a coincidence.
어떤 점이 신기한 거죠?
What's so interesting about it?
심장까지 가려고 많은 시간 준비하셨을 텐데 저희가 마침 딱 왔다는 게요.
Isn't it interesting that after all those years they spent preparing for their journey to the heart, we just happened to arrive as they were about to set sail?
운명이란 때로 그런 것 아니겠나. 나의 운명은 내가 이 창백한 고래의 심장을 꿰뚫게 하기 위해 움직이고 있다고 할 수 있지.
I have naught else to say, but merely refer to the nature of fate. The threads of fate itself is weaved so that I, Ahab, shall be the one to pierce the heart of the pallid whale.
나는 이곳에서 너희들의 이빨을 다 합쳐도 모자랄 만큼 수많은 항해를 시도했으며 곳곳을 돌아다녔고 남김없이 기억하고 있다.
I have set more sails in in the belly of this beast than the number of your gritted teeth combined. I have been to every nook and cranny of this place, all of which I clearly recall.
또한 나는 호수에서 이것의 가죽을 뚫어내기 위해 해보지 않은 시도가 없었지.
There is no method upon this earth that I have not attempted to pierce this beast's hide.
미리 수고를 덜어주자면 세상의 모든 무기들을 쑤셔박아도 이것의 가죽은 알사의 요새와 같아서 세상 그 어떤 것보다 단단하고 질길 거다.
So allow me to preclude a few options for you. This beast's hide is as thick and impenetrable as our corpse fortress. All the weapons in the world will not be able to pierce it.
언제나 박아 넣었어. 내 작살.
Tried to stab it with my harpoon.
상처는 냈지만 뚫을 수 없어.
Wound it, yes. Puncture a hole, no.
뭐 믿지 못하겠다면 너희들이 들고 있는 그 무기들로 시도를 해봐도 좋겠지.
Well, if you find my words so difficult to believe, then feel free to give it a try with your own weapons.
흠집조차도 나지 않았긴 했소만.
Mine attempts hardly left a mark.
저자의 말이 정말이라면 쪽비 노인이나 LCA 팀의 시도가 다 소용이 없어진다는 거잖아.
If she's right, then it won't matter what the Indigo Elder does, and it won't matter what LCA does.
시간이 지나도 구하러 올 수 없다는 거고.
It won't matter how hard they'll try. They can't get us out of here.
우리는 누구보다 알고 있다.
We know better than anyone.
아무도 구하러 오지 않는 이곳을 제정신으로 버티기란 힘들어.
The crushing pain of surviving at a place such as this, with no hope of rescue. No sane mind survives such torment for long.
불쌍한 우리 선원들을 보아라. 흰색의 점막이 금방이라도 온몸을 덮을 것 같지만 필사적으로 버티고 있는 저들의 모습을.
Behold my pitiful crew. They'll hold on tooth and nail to their sense of self as the pallid membrane tries to devour them whole.
없어. 여기 아무것도 어떤 것도.
Nothing here. Nothing. None.
위장에서 흘러들어오는 배 파편들을 건져내며 퀴케그가 사냥해온 인어들의 시체를 질겅이며 견디는 게 전부지.
We can do naught here but scavenge the flotsam that washes up to its stomach. Mermaid corpses brings back from her hunts our only source of subsistence. Subsistence?
부드러워. 지느러미.
Fins. Soft.
대체 어떻게 견디는 거야?
How the heck did you guys even survive here?
단 하나. 선장님의 말만 따르면 언젠가 이곳을 나갈 거라는 믿음.
Faith. The faith that as long as we follow our captain, she'll eventually lead us out of here.
우린 그걸로 버티는 거야.
That's the hope we hold on to.
그러니 이것은 제안이다.
Now, give my offer a listen.
이 선원들을 모두 구출할 의무가 있는 나, 피코드호의 선장이자 피코드 타운의 대장 에이헤브가 너희에게 하는 제안.
I, Captain Ahab of the Prequad, the leader of the Prequad town, have a responsibility to bring every single one of my crew home. Thus I make this offer to you.
나는 이놈의 심장을 터뜨릴 거다. 아주 오랫동안 준비를 해왔고 이제는 실행만 남은 상태지.
I will destroy this his heart, For long have I prepared. Now, all that remains to be done is to set the plan in motion.
우리의 목적은 같지만 전리품은 다르다.
Our goals are the same, yet we each seek different treasures.
내 계획을 도와준다면 너희는 황금가지를 챙길 것이고 우리는 이 고래를 잡고 바깥으로 나가게 되겠지.
Assist me in my plan. We will hunt this whale and escape, and the golden bow shall be yours.
잠시 이야기를 나누겠다.
We must discuss this amongst ourselves first.
얼마든지.
Take as much time as you want. Ahab nodded with a generous smile. We huddled in one corner of her office to discuss this.
이곳까지 타고 왔던 배는 복구가 불가능하다.
The boat that carried us here is beyond salvaging.
그리고 이곳을 나가기 위해서는 다시 배가 필요하다.
Thus, it follows that we require a new boat for us to escape the whale.
더불어 내부를 조사하기 위해서는 저 체액 위를 돌아다녀야 한다. 배는 그때도 필요할 것이다.
Moreover, moving across the bodily fluids of this whale is necessary if we are to conduct an investigation of its interiors. For that, we require a new boat.
요차하면 저자들의 배를 강탈하는 것도.
Then commandeering their vessel is also one of our options.
그렇게 다 들리게 말하시면 어떡해요?
Guys, they can hear us. Pipe down.
우리 배 복잡해. 조작법.
Our ship, hard to sail, complex.
운전은 오로지 할 수 있어. 이곳 선원들만이.
Only pre-quad crew can handle pre-quad boats.
결국 틀렸잖아요.
What'd I say?
뗏목부터 시작하려면 시간은 어느 정도 걸리지?
How much time would it take if we were to build a boat from scratch?
아무 재료도 없는 상태에서 산성에게도 견딜 수 있을 재질로 제작하려면 예상 시간은 남아.
Considering that we possess no necessary materials, considering that we must reinforce it to be resistant to the whale's acid, the estimated time of completion is... No, let's not even think about that.
그러죠.
Let's not.
제안이라 예상한 만큼 개소리네요.
So that's your offer? I could smell your coming from a mile away.
저자는 언제나 같아요. 그럴듯한 개소리로 사람을 죽음까지 몰고 가죠.
She's not changed one bit. Driving people to their deaths with that at a glance seems plausible.
이번에도 다를 바 없어요.
Nothing's changed.
저도 뭔가 꺼림칙한 사람이라는 생각이 들어요. 우리끼리 할 방법은...
Yeah, there's something off about her. Maybe we should just do this ourselves.
혓바닥이 길수록 조심해야 해.
Right? Never trust something that requires too much explaining.
저 사람들은 심장을 터뜨리고 나가기 위해서 많은 시간을 쏟아부은 것 같은데 우리가 당장 해결할 수 있는 걸까요?
I think they've spent a long time building a plan to destroy the heart and escape this place. Can we really do it on our own from scratch?
저희가 언제까지 버틸 수 있을지도 잘 모르겠어요.
I also don't know how long we could hold out in here.
그래, 저 선장만큼이나 이곳을 곳곳이 잘 알고 있는 자는 없어 보였지.
Yeah, that captain probably knows this place better than anyone.
그럼 우리가 인어가 되어서 서로를 죽이려 하거나 이곳에 영원히 갇히거나 둘 중에 하나가 되는 거야?
So our other options are either turn into mermaids and kill each other, or remain trapped in here forever. Are they really the only alternatives we've got?
붉은 시선께서 우리를 버릴 리가 없어.
이럴 때 의견 정하는 방법은 간단해. 배틀 로얄이다.
We're having trouble coming to an agreement. I will mediate.
Let's battle to the last person standing and have them decide.
The sinners were all expressing their opinions, which were all very diametrically opposed to one another with little hope of meeting somewhere in the middle. And I was unnerved by how easily Ahab managed to see right through us. Alrighty, so I know it's a little bit sudden, however, I really don't want to have another Yi-Song situation where it's an 8-hour video, especially with the Runa video that I have planned that's going to be coming out later, so I am going to end it a little bit early, but we're going to pick up right from where we left off in the next one. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode of The Limbus Company. By the way, big thanks again to Ren, who gave us the winning strategy, but of course, I do want to thank everyone who gave me advice on what to use and basically what to do. The two that come to mind is Satyr and Chalky, who basically said use Tremor. Which I know that would have been a good idea, but brrr. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Also, apparently they do revive, so we're equally gonna find that out in the next one, huh? Bye.